Okay, we should be live. That should work. Somebody in the chat, let us know if you can hear us. But we're here, finally here to talk about World Championships, and we're here to talk about the state of the game, state of the meta, what armies you can expect to play against. So let's do the intro before I forget, because I just want to jump right in. So hi everybody, thank you for joining us. My name is Paul, and today with me I have
Lalo, Eduardo.
And Luis.
Okay, fantastic. Good job, guys. All right, so
oh god.
Sorry about. I just want to clarify. Sorry about canceling a live stream Friday night. I was just way too tired. I've been really busy behind the scenes, and it finally caught up to me. And I needed to sleep, and I slept a lot this weekend, which was great. So I'm very, very grateful for that. And yeah, neither of you guys are American, so we don't have to talk about Thanksgiving, right? Like we can just skip right past that. Okay, fantastic. We can just talk about Warhammer. So what have you guys been playing? I know one of you went to the World Championships, and we'll talk about that. But aside from that, because that's kind of its own topic, have you guys been going to a lot of events? Have you been going to a lot of GTs? To run me through your play for the last few months. What have you guys been doing, and what have you guys been seeing?
Well, so Luis and I have been going to several tournaments. We have been going this year non-stop, like once a month, to a tournament. So I think we have been playing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was going to Worlds, as you were saying, I was just trying my list over and over and over again. So I'm actually bored of it by now. But yeah, I haven't played very many different armies, so I have been stuck with that for a while now.
And you've been playing Lumineth lately, right?
Yes, I have been playing that. A very skewed list that I had to make some adjustment because of the painting part, which was worth it. I can let you know a little bit more about that when we talk about
we will
Worlds.
definitely talk about it.
Yeah, but yeah, I have been playing that, and Luis has been playing as well with me, so he helped me practice a lot.
Yeah, has been a really good ending of the year. I mean, after the second part of the year has been really entertaining about the GTs and some RTTs. So, and in Mexico is growing up the frequency and also the quantity of tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting. And in my perspective, this is something that is happening in the worldwide. That's good. And in my case, especially talking about my list right now, I am practicing with Sylvanet. I will attend GT or last GT, Eduardo. I will attend it with Sylvanet.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing, I just have had only one game with Sylvanet.
Well, taking it to a GT is a good way to get 5 games really quick.
Exactly.
How well you'll do? Well, that's a different question. No, it's interesting that we've all switched off Stormcast, right? Eduardo's playing Lumineth. Yeah. I swapped over to Fyreslayers for a bit, and you're playing Sylvaneth now. Do we think Stormcast is a bad army? Because I think the slide that I have on the screen right now kind of disagrees with that. I think Stormcast are very good. For me, yeah. I just need to play something else.
Yeah, I swapped to Stormcast now. I will be playing Stormcast this weekend.
You're sick of Lumineth. You're back on the Stormcast train. Okay, good. Right on.
Yeah. No, I think right now I feel the Stormcast in a really good position. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's not the best. It's not the best army in the performance, in the win rate, but I feel the Stormcast is quite balanced in a lot of skills that will be needed for this season. So, in a short summary, to me is probably in a 10 scale. I suppose that is an 8.5 grade over 10.
I think Stormcast are in a really good spot right now. We're not overpowered by any means. In fact, you could even argue that a lot of our units are still too weak, right? But if you're talking about GT performance, Stormcast is one of the armies that's like, if I want to 5-0, my list has to be able to handle Stormcast. I can't just hope to not play against them because they're super popular, but they're also strong enough that it's like, okay, if you're not ready for prosecutors charging anywhere in your army with flying 3d6 charges, if you're not ready for javelins, if you're not ready for Karazai giving you -1 attack, if you're not ready for fight first anvils with like concussors or reclusians or things like that, if you're not ready for deep strike grand hammers, right, that you're just not going to 5-0. Like your list has to be able to handle pretty much all of those things all at the same time. And it's so diverse that it's like you can't just pick the one. So Stormcast, I think, are a pretty big consideration in the gauntlet. Like usually when I'm prepping for a GT, I'll make a list like what I have shown on screen here. I'll be like, well, these are the armies I'm looking to beat. How does my list play into all of these, right? Like, do I have a serious weakness into this one, and how can I adjust my play style or my list in order to deal with it? Stormcast, I think, make it into that consideration. Even now, the mirror is something I'm considering. I usually don't consider the Stormcast mirror because the lists I tend to do better into that because I always play a game of trading hammers, and I build my list to have as many hammer units as possible, so that usually tends to do well into Stormcast. Like, the only time it's a problem is if I go against another list like mine, but people don't really build lists like mine. They'll build, like, I have a Star Drake and Andrasta and Bastion and Krondys, and that's my list. You know, like they'll build weird lists like that, and it's like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna pick this one up. You know, an easy W. I'm sounding too arrogant here, but I'm trying to segue into talking about what the top armies are right now. So I put this list together. I think there's definitely more discussion than these armies alone, but I think it's worth noting that right now the game feels more balanced than it has been since 4th edition launched. There are like 12 armies, maybe 15 armies that are all like, yeah, that's a good army right now. You can play that. You can 5-0 with that army. You can win GTs with that army. And we haven't really had that since 4th edition started. It's been a really, really rocky time. There's been armies that are way too good, and then they nerf them, and then the next armies are way too good, and then the battle tomes come out and those armies are way too good, and it feels like we finally settled into a point where things are starting to get normal, right? Like, if you guys remember, the end of 3rd edition was probably the most balanced the game has ever been in terms of win rates, in terms of like performance and things like that, and I think we're getting to that point finally with 4th edition.
We are very close to that. And I was just to go back a little bit about we were talking about Stormcast. I think that we are very well positioned against the top armies. So that is why we are doing decently.
Yeah, we were before as well. Before the September Battle Scroll, we were able to make a list that could reliably beat like 4 of the top 5 armies. The problem is that 5th army would just stop us dead cold, right? But now with the significant nerfs to most armies, like you guys noticed, Flesh Eater Courts is not one of the main armies here, and I thought for sure they were still going to be overpowered. But the nerfs they put out have really blown open the meta in a good way for us, because we can now build a list that, instead of having like a 70-30 matchup into that one bad list that I talked about, like we would have maybe, like a 60-40 or a 55-45 kind of thing. Like it's not unwinnable. It's still a tough matchup unless your list is tailored to it, but it's not unwinnable by any means.
Yeah.
So we can go through. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, to be honest, in my last GT with the list AF1, I had a pretty decent performance in the matches. I didn't want the most of them, but the match was really close, and no more than 5 points each. So was a really good performance, considering that I faced twice to Paris Slayers, to 3 and 5 Drots, and each list, and also Soul Blight. So I mean, my comment is leaded that currently we have a lot of resources that could lead us to take a good performance, a good development of the game, and also to have some resources to make it really, really good. But anyway, yeah. So that's the point. To me, it's a good place. Maybe we are, in my perspective, we are the fifth army probably, or
Yeah,
sixth
like
one.
if
And
I made a top 5
yeah,
list, I would put Stormcast at number 4 or 5, I think. We're not the army, right? But we are close.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
So
Agree.
in no particular order, we can just go through these. I didn't. These are not a ranking. Like I don't think Skaven is the number 1 army, for example. I don't think like Kharadron might be number 2. That's probably that could actually be accurate. But anyway, let's just talk about these armies. These are the
Yeah.
ones I feel like are worth discussing. There's maybe one more that's not included here that we can talk about, which is the Disciples of Tzeentch, which I think is more interesting to talk about when we get to the win rates because they're performing really well in terms of win rates. But there's something else going on. So let's talk about Skaven. So Skaven are kind of like Stormcast in that they just have a ton of variety. No 2 Skaven lists that are 5.0 are the same list. It's not like they're just spamming the same units. They have a ton of different ways to play. There's some common elements, like the Scourge of Gyran Bell is extremely common. You'll see that in most most Skaven lists. There's some lists that are just spamming Hell Pit Abominations now, which is cool. I love that that unit is finally good. It hasn't been good since it came out in when did Age of Sigmar start? 2015, right? The Hell Pit Abomination has never been good, not once, and it's finally good. And I'm so happy to see that. It's good enough that you can bring like 5 of them in a list, and it's a good list. So that's awesome. They also have hordes, which a lot of armies don't have these days, but we're talking like 40-man reinforced clan rat units that just take up a ton of space. They physically block you from getting onto objectives. They block up choke points. If you don't kill them all, they start reviving. Like they're really annoying to deal with, and you have to be able to deal with them all in one single turn. Otherwise, it just gets more complicated. And I kind of just have a broad categorization here for rat trickery, which is things like spawning gnaw holes and teleporting to them in unexpected spots, or using the various ways to mess with combat mechanics like the Greater Demon that just teleports away in combat, which is incredibly annoying because he has like a 3-up heroic trait and then his 4-up base teleport, and that teleport doesn't... like one of them is a retreat, but the other one is just teleport 13 inches away, and you can teleport into a different combat, which is like, it's so annoying to deal with that.
Yeah, and it is actually 14 inches, but yes.
yeah, because you pick a point within 1 inch. Yeah, it's nuts. So Skaven are a tough army because you need to deal with their hordes, but then sometimes you'll play against a Skaven that brings Hell Pit Abominations, and you're like, oh, okay, I didn't prepare for that.
You need to be ready for fighting monsters in this matchup, for sure, because you will be either seeing the new Soggy Broad Terror, the Abomination, or the Ninja Guy, the Vermin Lord
Very
Deceiver,
common,
I
yep.
believe it's called. So you will be seeing one of those for sure. And you are starting to see as well the tank wall. So you are for sure going to find a monster in that matchup. And as you said, they have a lot of tricks, a lot of things that they can bring. It's a very good army, and it did pretty decent.
Their best ability is definitely moving units in their opponent's hero phase. I can't stress how good that ability is, and I think it's taken Skaven players quite a while to pick up on how good that is. You know, the good ones, they knew, right? Like, the good Skaven players, they knew, but, like, all Skaven players now are starting to wake up to just how strong it is to have a guaranteed move in the opponent's hero phase equal to your normal move, which is, like, it's nuts how good that is. Iron Jaws are, like, crying in the corner because they wish they had that ability. Like, their 3-inch move in the hero phase is, like, nothing compared to that.
And the Nohols are also very good.
Yeah, I love them because they give me things to charge at with teleport charges. Yeah. So I love knotholes. Please make as many knotholes as you want. I will always find a way to take advantage of an enemy knothole. It's great.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But it is there you go. Go.
Yeah, the resources that you need to avoid that kind of movement is high. So you cannot avoid this and try to complete some tactics. This is something what is difficult and annoying in this army. You need to commit a lot of resources in order to prevent any action that could lead you to make a mistake, a forced mistake. So
Yeah.
this is one of the things that I love. And also you can complete or you can mix also shooting and melee. So this is a really difficult army. I know that is something that is not easy to play with, but also to play against it is not easy. Requires a lot of prevention and also a lot of tactic in order to take good decisions against them.
Yeah. I like the way you put it. It's a game of resource management. So if you're playing a list, and these were more, previous season lists last year when we were playing lists with like 6, 7, 8 units, Skaven could have been really, really tough to deal with, because if you have to dedicate a 200-point unit, like if you have to dedicate Quest or Soulsworn to just going and clearing out a Gnawhole, that's really not a good use of units. You want something like 5 Liberators to go clear out a Gnawhole, right? And if they don't kill it, then they just camp on it and your enemy can't teleport to it. So either way, they get the job done. But that's definitely something that's annoying with Skaven. Yeah, you have to build your list to have these extra cheap, tactical, useless units, we call them, but they actually end up being the most useful of all.
Yeah. Yeah, and also the way that they can delete any of your heavyweight units is also easy for them. I mean, if they combine all their attacks, they can remove any unit that they that they want. So it's difficult also to deal with their movement, to deal with their output damage, and obviously with the decision they can take in order to make you take forced decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it. I love it. I suppose, in my perspective, that this army could be also one step behind of the Stormcast in the performance. Also, the win rate is good for them. So I suppose it's a strong army right now.
Yeah, their mobility is definitely worse than Stormcast. Their damage is good. Their defenses are they rely on just throwing units away, right? They can't really take a hit. Everything they put out there is going to get killed unless you're like playing a low damage army, which you really shouldn't be. This game never allows low damage armies to do well. It's always a high damage all the time. So Skaven feels like definitely like a list check army, right? It's like if you brought the units to deal with hordes, with Stormcast in particular, you can outmaneuver them, right? Skaven will outmaneuver so many other armies. They'll outmaneuver Khorne and slaves and Gitz. Maybe not Gitz now with the chariots. Now that I say that, but like lots of armies can struggle with Skaven mobility. Stormcast do not struggle against it. It's definitely something we do better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we are the most mobile army, so.
Oh yeah, by far. That wasn't the case last edition. It definitely is the case now. Nobody is more mobile than Stormcast. Nobody has as many teleports, reserves, unrestricted reserves. The ability to bring a unit back to life anywhere could be counted as a mobility tool. Like we're crazy mobile. Feels great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk Kharadron, because they're kind of very, very different from Skaven, where Skaven are trying to win the game over 5 rounds by just denying you points, bleeding you out slowly, denying tactics, denying primary scoring as well with their bodies. Kharadron are doing the exact opposite. They are trying to just like go for the throat and just take you out, like deal a crippling blow so you can't recover. They're kind of doing what Stormcast are trying to do as well, right? We're trying to hit you in such a way that when you hit us back, you just won't have enough stuff left to deal with their good defenses. Because -1 hit, 2+ save boats, 3+ saves on almost everything. If you don't have enough dice thrown at them, they're going to survive. So if they do enough damage, you just don't have the dice necessary to get through all that, and then that's how they win the game, right? They're not going to outright kill you. That's not the case. They're not like a 1-turn kill army anymore, like they used to be in 3rd edition. But they will do significant damage. Now, again, Stormcast are just more mobile than that, right? Like when Kharadron play against Stormcast, it's a very different game for them than most armies, because most armies, they get to sit back as far as they want and take the charge when they want. They get to make every engagement on their terms. But when you're playing against Stormcast and they have, javelins or prosecutors or something like that, and it's like, oh, suddenly I'm not safe at the back of the board. I have to engage you first and then give you the chance to attack me back. Like, and that makes it a really tough matchup for them. So I think a good Stormcast player is quite favored into Kharadron Overlords if they know what they're doing. And of course, if David was here, which he will be later, maybe he would have a different opinion, but you know.
Yeah, I feel to right now that Stormcast can deal with Kharadron. Depends on the units that we can take into the roster. But I mean, we have so fast units. We have javelins. Well, every cavalry in our army, especially vanguards. Also the prosecutors, and we have also to the questor. So we have fast units to be everywhere. So it's not a problem chasing and reaching to the frigates and reaching another units at the same time. So we can deal with that match, and especially with our battle traits when we face them using finest hour and another combos. I suppose that we don't take too much damage as another kind of armies. But this is my perspective.
Mm.
The problem with Kharadron is that it's not easy to kill to reach the first 1 or 2 rounds. It's not easy to reach the frigates, and also once you are reaching them, it's kind of difficult to kill them. They have a good resilience, and they also have a good resources in order to move out of the combat. So it's not an easy army, but I suppose that we could have probably the 60% of the matches in our favor.
If you're playing a slow list, like if you have Dracoths, like if you're playing Strike First Anvil, that's not going to do well against Kharadron because they can just shoot that unit off, or at least reduce it to half health. That way, it doesn't do enough damage when it does get charged. But if you have prosecutors or javelins, your win rate goes really way up compared to any other kind of Stormcast list you can play. They really hate being hit first. They hate the idea that they can be hit first, right? Because they want to take the engagement on their terms. They don't want you charging them from across the table, from the corner to the other corner, right? And all it takes is a couple javelins go through, they kill a couple balloon boys, and then when you charge, you finish off the rest of the unit. Like they're not that tough. Like with Vigilors and with all out attack, we get through the -1 hit. And if you have Irridan in your list, or Tempesters, for example, you're denying all out defense, you're effectively Rend 2. Like you'll cut them through. You don't need all of your attacks to get through because their wound density is not very good. The one Kharadron list I'm more worried about is like the Salvager spam, where they just have tons and tons of bodies on 4-up saves with 6-up wards. Thankfully, that one is pretty rare because there's just not that many people buying that many Salvagers yet. But I'm worried about what happens, like if they nerf Riggers and Skywardens, people will just pivot into that. That army has this constant design problem where they'll just play whatever unit is most efficient. Like the units aren't different enough. They always do the same thing. They move, they shoot. Sometimes they have an ability, but pretty much they're just stat blocks. So like whichever one's most efficient, that's what people will use, and it's annoying.
For sure. It will happen the same as Nighthaunt.
Oh god, yeah, Nighthaunt. Well, we'll talk about them soon. Yeah. Eduardo, do you have anything you want to add about Kharadron?
Yeah, just the high armor save can be a problem if you don't bring a list that has Rend, because you can have trouble hitting them if they are running all the units with 3-up. But besides that, I think that, as you said, they cannot just lay in the back and wait for you to go in and then charge you and kill you. So they have to play differently, and you can play against it very, very well as a Stormcast player.
And bringing that extra Rend support also makes, like, if you pair into a Slaves to Darkness, it makes that matchup much easier. Stormcast also as well. Like, Stormcast and Kharadron don't really have high wound density, but Slaves to Darkness does, and you will be very happy that you brought extra Rend for your prosecutors if and when you face Slaves, because they're super popular. No matter how strong that army is, it will always be a popular army.
Yeah. For sure.
All right, Cities of Sigmar. They
I
are.
think that we can move.
I-
Sorry.
I think
I
cities
was
are
going
good.
to say, yeah, me too.
They're still doing the same thing they did before they nerfed Zenestra, right? Cavaliers, cannons. Sometimes they mix in a block of executioners to get crit mortals on 5s. Sometimes they bring in a couple steam tanks because they're 2-up save. But it's pretty much just cavaliers and cannons for the most part, right? Like there's a lot of variety. There's not like one list again, but cavaliers and cannons are the way. So it's a lot simpler to deal with now because they don't have Zenestra teleporting them around in both players' turns. How much more is there to say? If you can beat slaves, you can beat cities, is my estimation. As Stormcast anyway, because we have the range damage to kill their cannons, and then their cavaliers are just like Varangard are scarier, like way scarier. They don't have the 3d6 charge. They like Stormcast don't really get into these like sustained combats that cavaliers tend to excel at. Because they get in and then they continue getting the charge bonus while they're inside combat. Executioners, like, yeah, that's really scary. If you're getting charged by executioners, it's scary. Stormcast usually don't get charged. We're the ones doing the charging. Like 5-inch move infantry is not going to charge us. So we have the positioning tools. This is for other armies. This is really scary. Like executioners just cut down chosen like butter. It's crazy how much damage they do into them. Cannons are a big threat for a lot of armies to deal with. Like Kharadron really don't like having to deal with those cannons because they're long range. They're not 18 inches like a lot of shooting. They're quite a bit longer than that, and that means they need to get closer. And when they get closer, when they shoot the cannons, that means then the cavaliers can come in and clean it up. So even if they're on 4s and 4s, it doesn't matter. The cavaliers are eventually going to kill you just with volume. And executioners, -1 hit doesn't matter if you have crit mortals on 5s. It just doesn't.
Exactly. So I feel that skill is not at the same level that third edition. I mean, the output damage in Mortal Wounds has been reduced. Everybody knows that. But right now, some units that still count with this kind of abilities in their weapons. So the problem with executioners is their cost and also their benefit that you have. They are really cheap in comparison with another units. I mean, if we consider that or reclusions, that is another type of unit equivalent to executioner, we are a little bit higher in the cost. I mean, in the number of the bodies and so on.
Definitely.
But right now, with executioner, I think that they had covered the output damage that they still need. The last time that I faced 2 cities, they doesn't feel so strong as 2 months ago, but they still feel with a lot of resources to clear to their opponent and also to solve a match positively. So it's a good army. To me, offers a lot of options, and also for the meta it's a good army. It has a lot of resources. This is great.
Mm-hmm.
It's great
Yeah,
to me.
it has great rules, and as you said, the cavaliers are very good. People were just depending too much on Sinestra, and so they just have to swift the way that they play them. But I think that they have a very good play. They will be going up again.
Yeah. Rob in the chat, hi buddy. He points out something very interesting, that slaves with the new rocket battery Regiment of Renown seem to be just doing what Cities does better. And I think I agree with that, because the problem Cities has is they're too slow. Right? The Cavaliers are just they might even be 10-inch move off the top of my head, but I think they're 12 with like no significant, like they don't have the 3d6 charges, right? Slaves has much more reliable long distance charging. They have the double fights to just do more damage and clear multiple units out per turn. They've got the Bellicor Strike First gimmick that a lot of armies still struggle to deal with. And now they have the ability to kill screens. Not reliably. How reliable is it? In my experience, it hasn't been. Like, hitting on 4s with those cannons really is not ideal, but it can, right? And it's like, Slaves went from an army that just lost to units, to screening units, to now having a chance against screening units. And that's a huge deal. So I think slaves could definitely just replace Cities of Sigmar on this list as an army doing it the same thing but better, right? Like Chosen are better than Executioners, Varangard and Knights are better than Cavaliers. The ROR versus Cannons, like it seems to be analogous.
Slaves is doing well. Even the lists with Archon, they are doing well. And you are talking about the Regiment of Renown for Kharadron, right?
No, the Hellsmith one that gives you access to artillery.
Oh, the Hellsmith.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. That roar is very good. Very good in slaves. Yes,
Oh,
the
yes.
shooting one that the nice combat command points and I played against it and it's very annoying.
I wish it could be used by Fire Slayers. Like, why can't it be used by another dwarf army? That's very odd.
I have no idea how do they decide who can take what roars. They don't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Why would anybody just take Kharadron and no idea.
Okay, let's talk Gitz. Or sorry, did you have something to say?
No, I mean in the regiment, and the regiment of the Hashut is really good. I mean, this has become in the first place regiment of renown to be used. Before of that was the regiment of Kharadron or the order.
Yeah, the Profiteers. They're really
But
good.
right now, yes. So I suppose that they are so at the same level of usage, depending on the army. But right now, Hashut is offering a good resource for armies like well, I haven't seen in Slate to Darkness, but I have seen it in another Chaos armies. So it's a good resource because they lack of good shooting units, and right now this is covering this deficiency in
Mm-hmm.
their armies.
Yep.
Like
Exactly.
like us, yeah, Blades of Khorne and so on.
All right, let's talk Gitz. Gitz are living by a single errata. Their whole army went from like, because I remember in our last live stream we were like, oh, Gitz are probably the worst army. Maybe this errata makes them like good, right? And it does. It turns out it makes them good. It makes them very good because this unit is very annoying to deal with. The chariots are now able to move 12 inches every single turn. Your turn, enemy turn, both players' turn. Chariots just move 12 inches, and they can redeploy on top of that. They can retreat with it and then charge you. And as they're retreating, they can do mortal wounds. So if you don't manage to kill 24 health on a 4-up save, you're going to be taking a lot of mortal wounds, which is very annoying. And then they're going to charge and hit something else.
Yeah, and the problem is going to be catching them to kill them. So
yes,
it's very hard.
12 inches is exactly the distance you need to not get charged anymore by anything, right? It's like if you just want to put them up turn 1, block your opponent from moving, and then just move them back into your base 12 inches, it's like, oh, you've zoned out the entire middle of the board, and your opponent can't deal with it. There's nothing they can do.
It reminds me of the Death Stalkers, the ones from Nighthaunt when they were released, that they could teleport in the opponent's movement phase.
Yeah.
So you could just screen with them, and then people would try to move 3 inches away from it, and then you just teleport them away.
Teleport away, yeah.
You will never kill them. If you didn't want them to die, they would never die. It's the same with this, because
I don't
12
get
inches is insane.
I don't understand how they keep designing abilities that allow you to have a ton of movement in the enemy turn, and they just keep doing it. And then every single time they nerf it because it's too strong, right? Every single time. This isn't even the first edition. They've been doing it since 2nd edition with the Foxes and Lumineth, when they could move 24 inches in the enemy turn or something stupid. Like, they just keep doing this, and they keep thinking, oh, it'll be good this time. And no, it's never balanced. It's always a completely horrendous, and not just balanced. It's not fun. It is not fun. Not fun. Like, if there were longer shooting ranges in this game, it could be reasonable, right? It's like, oh, you move 12 inches away, but that's okay because I have a 30-inch gun, right? Moving 12 inches when your opponents have 18-inch shooting, usually max, that's just like, or just no shooting. If they just have no shooting, it's an absolutely miserable experience to play against this unit. It has to be nerfed. It has to be nerfed.
Yeah, I don't think it will last this next Battle Scroll of December. And people in the chat seem to agree with me, or had the same idea that they won't last until the next point nerf and adjustment,
I mean,
because it's insane.
I
And,
mean,
Matt Rose was there at Worlds, and he was just talking that they were very good, and also that, which is the other stuff, that war machines should not get obscured, which is also insane.
I think it's okay. I think it's a case like the bigger war machines, like the Bell from
bigger
Skaven and the Cauldrons and Daughters. Those shouldn't get obscuring, but like a chariots are okay. I think
Or
that's
chariots?
fine. Yeah,
I don't
why
know.
not?
yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
The
Maybe
problem
like
right now with the chariots of Jits is that, as you have said, Paul, doesn't feel fair, because Murder Rust in Blade of Corns has been killed this edition in the latest battle zone, and right now you are taking once again Murder Rust, but with a higher range. This is something that feels oppressive, because you cannot interact really good against this unit, and feels unfair.
yeah.
But I hope kids can enjoy this unit for the rest of the year, because I suppose that will be nerfed so badly.
You got 2
I hope.
weeks. You got 2 weekends left, Gitz
Yeah.
players. Enjoy it while you can.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
From the bottom of my heart.
These abilities that you cannot interact with them or go around them somehow are very bad. I also hate those that don't allow you to charge, like the new gun. We are going to talk about it in Nighthaunt. But yeah, these abilities should not exist. It's okay if you can move 3 inches. Okay, I'll risk the charge. I can go around. I can circle you out or do something. But with this, you cannot do anything.
No.
The strategy is just
you just get screwed up with dice.
And
Yeah.
hope.
It's awful.
Yeah.
I
Ignore the chariots and hope that
Doctors-
the opponent makes a mistake.
Yes, the cavalry of Doctors can redeploy 4 inches, and also you have in cities, you have an ability with one of the heroes that they can allow to redeploy 4 inches in the way if you roll 1 or 2 or 3, you get automatically an 4. But that's good. I mean, this is something that you could deal with, but not 12 inches.
No,
This is
12
something
is too much. 2d6,
stupid.
it should be 2d6 at the bare minimum. It could be even d6. Like, make it just a free redeploy that you can also redeploy with, or like minimum 3 inches on a d6, something like d3 plus 3, right? That could be fine. But 12 inches is just too much. And like I said, this is not the first time they've had a problem where like melee armies just get completely screwed. In second edition, the Fire Slayers had this mechanic where they got to fight first if you charge them. If you didn't have an ability to shut off commands, they just got to fight you first. And they also got to fight you twice. And they got to fight you twice with units that had like 60 attacks that all did 2 crit mortals for every 6. And it was like, oh, okay, so how do I play against this army? The answer was you don't. Like, the Fire Slayers moved onto objectives, and if you didn't have very specific tools, and most armies didn't have these tools. They didn't have fight first. They didn't have command to turn off.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, you just lose. Like Ironjaws against Fire Slayers in second edition, you lose. Just go next. Don't even bother playing the game. And I'm not saying Gitz chariots are that bad, right? But it's like there's a certain level of uninteractivity that has to be taken into consideration when you design an ability like this. Like if you're moving 12 inches, if you're moving more than a person can charge, that's too much movement in the enemy turn. Now, I will say, to be fair, that's what we do with translocate, isn't it? Right? Why doesn't it feel as bad when we translocate away? I think it's because it happens in the hero phase. I think it's because it happens in the hero phase.
Yeah, you can readjust your strategy if the Stormcast player allows to remove that unit. So you can move elsewhere, you can do different stuff. But here you have already committed. You are 3 inches away from those chariots. They will just move away. So you cannot do anything about this. And Stormcast is one unit. Well, here it's one unit as well, but You have to cast a prayer unless you have beacon, which is only once per battle.
Yep.
And it's still annoying. People that play against Stormcast, when you are trying to hunt for treasures, oh, it's very annoying to have it translocate all the time. Luis always does that to me.
But also is the consistency that you need to trigger each turn. I mean, everybody that is playing priest in a Stormcast has lived the ones coming into the role. So it's not always appearing, and also, as you have said, it's on the hero phase. After that, you cannot move. So this is something that is controlled in a certain way, and you are tangled to the interaction that you have in the game. But it's not like the chariot. The chariot is simply is stupid. You move 12 inches every single turn, and you reach in one round you can reach the other corners. So this is and besides that you can remove any unit, any layer that you have, the first layer, you can remove it with the chariots. Reinforced unit can create a lot of damage. So this is not fair. I mean, it's not fun to play against it.
Yeah, Translocate has a lot of costs. It does something similar, but like it costs a command point. It requires a priest. It requires the priest being in range of the unit. You probably want to bank points the turn before, so you have to pray before that. Or use the beacon, which is only once per game, and you have to give up using the Quicksilver draft in your list, which is an incredibly powerful artifact as well. Like if we didn't have beacon, Quicksilver would be every list. Every list would be Quicksilver, right? So there's a ton of costs. There's a ton of restrictions. There's a ton of limitations on what you can do with Translocate, and then it has a chance of failing unless you're using the once per game version of it, which is very good. I'm not trying to say this is bad. What I'm trying to say, there's a lot of limitations built into what we do. What the chariots do has none of these. It doesn't cost a command point. It doesn't require having a different unit in range. It doesn't require any specific hero. You just put the unit into your list and it does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's usable both turns with no cost, no risk of failure, no variance, just 12-inch move. So yeah, that's kind of my issue with it. And then because it's in the hero phase, like Translocate is fine because you can adjust your movement. Doing it after your opponent has dedicated all of their movement is just, it's nuts. It's way too good.
Yeah, it's the same as those abilities that reduce your charge rolls, because what do? Do you risk the charge or not? You have to move, you have to commit, and then you will know if you will get to charge or not. And so you will get yourself in danger.
And we're not saying anything new. Everybody knew this as soon as the ability was announced, right? I kind of wanted to see just how much it could elevate Gitz as an army, because they're not, like, aside from this ability, they're not of good army. They're like they're quite bad, actually. Like, it's this ability that's propping them up. And if you get rid of this, just how bad does Gitz become? That's my question, because I don't think they're going to just nerf this. I think they're going to go overboard. They're going to nerf, like, Boingrot Bounders. They're going to nerf Trogs. They're going to nerf all the common units, because a lot of their balancing is just done on win rates and inclusion rates. So it's like, oh, Chariots, okay, we'll get rid of that ability. Just make that much weaker. And then we're also going to increase your list by, like, 100 points, probably. And just how bad are Gitz going to be after that? Well, I guess we'll find out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, if Games Workshop doesn't cut this role in a good way, solving the problem since the root, this is not an increase of points is not going to solve anything. Because maybe like a Sinestra is something kind of the ability that were triggered by Sinestra. Sinestra was doing it in both hero phases, and this one can do it in every single movement phase. So I suppose that if they have, I mean, Games Workshop has the same consistency, reducing the broken rules. I suppose that they will do the same thing. Probably you can do it only in your movement phase, and that doesn't feel so broken. Right now, the problem is that is doing it without any cost, so freely in the opponent's turn, and that doesn't feel so good.
Mm-hmm.
So, and besides that, to me, Gitz has a good output damage. They have also a good movement. I mean, these quicks, they can reach you probably in 2 turns. They can be knocking your doors probably in round 2, and they doesn't feel so strong without the chariots, but they still feel strong in my perspective.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm not hopeful for them, but um, I'm still mad at them for 3rd edition, frankly. So if Gitz just get nerfed into the ground for the rest of the edition, I'm okay with that. I'm still mad about what I
Yeah.
had to go through with 3rd edition. That was such a ridiculous time.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to Nighthaunt. Nighthaunt does 2 things. Number 1, Pyregeists. Number 2, Pyregeists. That's it. That's all the army does right now. And it'll keep doing that even if they take a 20-point nerf. It'll take like a 30-point nerf on that unit before they stop spamming it.
But it's the same. I don't think it. If you remove Pyregeist, I don't think the army will be very different. It's a more efficient unit. Yes, that's true because of the point cost, and it has a good ability. But the army, it's just, well, I'm gonna start complaining again because of this book, but it's just so boring. And in some matches they will just win by doing nothing, and in some other matches they will just lose because somebody took off their ward saves and just cleared them out of the board.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you have the ability to turn off commands and reduce or remove wards, Nighthaunt is like the simplest army to play against. It has the worst stats, the lowest model count for its cost. Like, there's so many armies that do effective health better and that don't rely on commands or wards, right? Like, just raw health. Raw health is better than effective health almost all the time. Especially now that counters exist to effective health, because wards and command hate are quite prevalent in this game, especially now that everybody has access to the Hellsmith regiment that shuts off commands, and most armies have access to some kind of ward removal or reduction. I don't think
they cannot hide.
Yeah, Nighthaunt can't be a top army just because of that, because as soon as they get good enough, all this tech just comes into lists and they just get pushed out. Like, they're riding that razor's edge of like, we need these ability, we need both the 5-up ward and we need +1 save from all that defense in order to just survive anything. And Pyregeist just do that better because while they're standing around, they're also shooting. That's really the only thing. Like you said, Eduardo, as soon as they nerf Pyregeist, they're gonna go into Bladegeist Revenants, because sometimes you can't charge them and the game ends, which is like the dumbest mechanic. I hate it.
Yeah, it's stupid.
But that's it.
People were
that's the whole army.
People say like, oh, you can go around that 7-inch charge, and now if the Nighthaunt player plays well, you cannot have another charge. You put everything behind that, and you have to charge them. And if you don't roll a 7, you didn't take the objective, you didn't do any tactic, you didn't do any damage, and now it's the turn for the opponent.
Yeah, again,
so it's the worst mechanic.
It's another situation like the Chariots, where players with shooting, like armies with shooting, armies with command hate, armies with ward hate, are not going to struggle, right? Because you'll still be able to do some damage. But melee armies, if you're playing pure melee armies, that's going to suck. It's just, it's boring.
Yep. My Lumineth list against this was not good.
No.
If I whiffed on my shooting, couldn't do anything.
Yeah. Do Lumineth even have a way to remove wards?
No.
No, they don't. And they don't have anything that shuts off AOD, right?
No, you could use the Total Eclipse with the twins to make them spend 2 CPs, but no, you don't remove them.
No. So it's and you're not like fast enough, and you're not you don't have any combat tricks, like you don't have the Iron Jaws Murder Lust to get into combat to avoid charging. Yeah, it's rough.
And if they put the whole army into the center objective in one of those maps that you need to take the center objective to do tactics or stuff, by the time that you kill them and you take back the objective, it's too late.
Yeah.
So there are some matches in which they are going to be very good, and that will keep the win rate pretty decent. They are not a good army. In my opinion, they are not a good army. They are very boring.
I mean, the top armies right now can turn off the ward. I can recall any of the top 5 armies that can't
Stormcast, Night Relictor.
reach out.
Mhm.
Yeah, Stormcast,
Stormcast.
Doctors of
You
Khaine.
have the
Also,
regiment, the Death Armies have the Regiment of Renown that they can
Yep.
bring the corpse card, and they can
yeah,
reduce
There's
the ward
also
save.
the Kharadron Regiment of Renown that can just turn off wards.
yeah,
Uh,
they can. So, I mean,
Skaven have the
the
Khorne.
best armies, yeah, the best armies can turn off the wards.
Hmm.
So this is something that can deal or that can help to deal with the boring Nighthounds right now. But beyond that, I suppose that there is no mechanics against this anti-charge synergy.
There's
That is
rolling
not.
better charges, like 3d6 charges are unmodified technically. You can charge with multiple units, but the thing is, usually you can't just dedicate that many resources to charging one unit of Bladegeist, right? It, yeah, it's just not. They need something. They need a rewrite. Honestly,
The thing that will happen
only-
with Nighthaunt is that they will get point nerfs. They will be going down, and then they will get cheaper, and then will be more stuff, and they will be going up, and they will be going up and down. And that's how they're gonna spend the rest of the
Yeah.
edition. And if all the books get something to remove wards, they are going to the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't
But
know. They
anyway,
should have given a unit that could do damage. Honestly, I think they really missed that part of the book because, as Paul was saying, you need to do damage in this game.
yeah, and should be something. I mean, in a in a small doses, I suppose that is funny because the Soggy Drycha profile is doing something kind of because is allowing to the opponent to decide between to lose a D3 to the charge and also or to decide to have a penalties in the attacks profile, but also is allowing you to turn off the wards for the attacks. But this is only one unit.
Yeah.
So in a small doses feels good, a good resource. But in that quantity and that level for the whole army feels not good because you are cutting the interaction with your opponent, and then is when you are losing the fun part of the game.
Yeah.
So I suppose that they should be controlling these doses for these kind of abilities in Nighthaunt.
All right, well, we're just complaining about Nighthaunt, but they are strong, right? Like the Pyregeist spam does take wins. It wins games. It's just so boring to play against.
Yeah, because I mean, when you have a really fun match against your opponent, it doesn't feel bad when you are losing because it's so interactive and it's so funny that you can't blame about the game. But right now, with this kind of iteration, it's simply just sit in the middle of the board and just wait for the counter charge of in the next turn of Nighthaunt. This is what is killing the fun part of the game.
Yeah.
It's not about complaining. It's just that it's not funny like playing against another Stormcast or Slay to Darkness just because you need to decide your mechanic in order to defeat to the other opponent. But in this case, feels no matter what you are doing, feels that you cannot deal with that kind of abilities.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful they get some good errata that makes their abilities more interesting, like they did with Gitz. But not.
Let's just hope that we get something like the soggy updates in December as well, and maybe they'll give them something that they can lean into. But they are very bad. Mine will be staying in the shelf for the rest of the edition until they fix something because I don't want to play that.
It's the kind of thing where it's like updating their saves to 6s and their wards to 5. Very good idea because 4-up Ethereal is just like a cancer on this game. It's one of the worst things they ever added. It's up there with like 6-inch pylons from a couple editions ago. But I'm glad they changed that. But the thing is, they got that, and then they just ran out of time, and they didn't have time to make the book interesting. They're like, okay, let's take the last book, let's change all the stats, and let's push it out the door. Cool. Next edition, their next book is going to be a banger for sure. Remember, Kharadron last edition they're revamped a lot from second edition. But I feel like they went overboard. They ended up too strong. The design was still not quite there. This edition, I think, is the best design of Kharadron they've ever had. And I think the next edition's Nighthaunt is going to be like that, where it's like they got the core fundamentals right. Now they just need to iterate on the unit design and the hero design, and it's going to be a really, really fun army.
Yeah, let's hope you're right.
I hope. Yeah, because I mean, it's the cycle of this design of battle tomes. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Right now, our last edition with Khorne was enjoying a lot, and right now in this edition sometimes feels not playable.
Yeah.
In some cases.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, on the topic of armies that are uninteractive and not fun, we just talked about Gitz and Nighthaunt. Fyreslayers are just they're so close to being not fun to play against, but I think they are still, because they have two main gimmicks that I've listed here, which is Magmadrots moving 10 inches in the hero phase, both players' turns, mind you, they can do that. And then also moving 10 inches and then charging you. So they're basically Javelin Paladors. On a 2+, they're Javelin Paladors, which is really cool. Because Fyreslayers have always been the slowest army in the game, so now they have this cool thing. But the other really good thing is the army-wide strike first rune, which is devastatingly strong. Strategically, if you put yourself in a position where if your opponent charges you, they lose the game, and if they don't charge you, they lose the game, what that means is you've won the game, because your opponent has to do one of those things. They have to do it or not do it, right? So a good player utilizing the strike rune first properly just ends the game immediately. It's so good. Yeah. But it's not so good that it's oh, my dice failed and I can't charge the Bladegeist Revenants, or my chariots move 12 inches and you literally can't charge them every single turn. It's a once per game thing that you have to position for, that your opponent can disrupt, that does nothing against shooting. There's still counterplay against it. It requires using a rune. There's all these limitations and things. So when you do it right, it feels amazing. And when you play around it, it feels amazing. So I think Fyreslayers do not go into that same camp that Gitz and Nighthaunt are in right now. I think they're very strong. Maybe the strongest army in the game. That's certainly probably top 3 right now. One of them is Fyreslayers, I think. But they're not they're not broken. They're not no fun to play against. It's a fun strategic game when you play against Fyreslayers.
Yeah.
Although James would disagree.
No. I mean, right now, they are the opposite what they were in third edition, because they were so slow. Almost no Magmadrots were playing, and right now they become in a cavalry or monster-based army. These last 3 months, they have done a really good job. Regardless how many drops you are taking at least 2 or 3
minimum
in
2
your list.
Yeah,
and also and you have good resources. You can have the resources that many armies are willing to count with. You can run and charge. You can have, just because strike first in all your units. You can have good ward. You can have good resistance. I don't know. They can do anything.
But they can't do everything all at once. And that 4-inch move still sucks. It doesn't matter how much you play around it. 4-inch move is awful.
Yep. Yes, but it's in the limit. It's exactly in the limit of fun and oppressive.
I agree.
Sometimes feels oppressive, because regardless, if you stay completely at the bottom of the board, they can reach you. They can still reach you. So sometimes there's no way to escape from those guys. It doesn't, unless you are keeping your units in reserve. There's no another way to save them of them. They can reach you and they can kill one one unit that could be crucial for your army. So this is something that you need to bear in mind when you are facing. You will need to put something to be slain by these guys,
Hmm.
and
They're,
then
they're
to
a very
counter
good
charge.
Alpha Strike army. One of the best ones.
They
Yeah.
can be, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, they can be.
the new change to ritual point generation kind of makes it less reliable, because what people were doing, and I did this as well, enemy turn, you bank points with the Rune Master, then on your turn you bank points again, and then you go for the big double move prayer, and then you move 2 Magma Draughts up, and you just charge them both, and then they do a ton of damage, and then on the enemy turn you strike first rune. Boom, done. Right? Like that could just close out the game sometimes. But with the change to ritual points and how that works on unmodified rolls now, that's going to be a lot tougher. So probably not a reliable play anymore. Still something they can do, but just less likely.
Oh yes, I had a match at Worlds. Oh my. Everything went so bad. So bad.
Yeah.
He charged into me turn 1 because he knew that I was a threat with my sentinels. He killed 5 Blade Lords. I killed 2 Magma Draughts on his turn. Next turn, the prayer, he gets it. He moves 10 away. Then I couldn't reach him with my shooting, and I failed all my charges. I couldn't charge nothing for the whole game. I couldn't kill him. I lost the game.
Yeah. It's
was
rough,
horrible.
man. But it's not like it's not like you feel like, oh, there's nothing I could have done, or my dice just went wrong. You know, like it's not like Nighthaunt or Gitz. It's a tough, but it's fun. And of course, James is here in the chat disagreeing.
Yeah.
The Fire Slayer's
remember
derangement
the
syndrome.
Yeah, they are asking if it was Mike. I don't remember the name of my opponent. He was very nice guy, but it was I was so frustrated. I was gonna win. I should have won that one. I was so annoyed. But well.
In the chat, Daryl Hussein says cities have a spell for 36 charge. Yeah, sorry. I just mean it's not like prosecutors, which have it just on their war scroll, or like slaves, which could just give it to any unit back before the errata. Spells are less reliable, especially a 7+ spell. And as far as I know, cities don't have any bonuses to casting. I think the Battle Mage has one, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. But my experience with cities is that they're just not that kind of like alpha strike army, right? Like they're not. I'm not worried about Cavaliers in the same way I'm worried about Vanguard. You know, that's only my point. Or like prosecutors. Yeah.
Yeah, the damage is not that high.
No. They usually hit screens, and sometimes they don't even kill the screens. Like I've had 5 Liberators survive against reinforced Cavaliers charging them. It's like, okay, cool. Okay, so let's talk Stormcast. So specifically, we're talking about it from the context of a mirror match, you know, because we are primarily Stormcast players. What I'm worried about when I'm facing against another Stormcast army, I'd say it's the deep strike stuff, like the Grand Hammer charges going wild. I'm quite worried about that. That's probably my biggest fear, because I can contain prosecutors, I can contain javelins. I can't really contain prosecutors and Grand Hammers both charging in my army at the same time from any angle, right? That's the hard part, is like you can't protect every single angle all at once. And then like ideally what you'd be able to do is move up to just zone stuff out. Like you throw out like cheap stuff like chariots or liberators, and you just zone them out so they can't drop within your near units. But if you're going first, then the enemy can double you, and then it's like it's over, right?
Yep.
The Stormcast Mirror is a very strange matchup. It's probably the strangest game of Age of Sigmar you'll ever play, because it doesn't play like a typical matchup. The only thing that matters is who has a fast melee hammer left alive at the end of the game. If you have a 12-inch move melee hammer and your opponent doesn't, you've won the game as Stormcast in that matchup. Shooting is only there to kill the other fast hammers. Slow hammers are only there to kill the shooting and kill the slow hammers. Like, it really does become about like Hail Mary 9-inch charges. Like sometimes you just have to go for the Quester Soulsworn teleport charge, and your opponent has to play around that. Like it's such a strange matchup. So that's why I think for me, I'm worried about like Grand Hammer charges from reserve with Gardas and Imperator and all that stuff, because the lists I'm building right now don't have enough screens to fully zone out the way I'd like to. I would like to have 3 screening units for that matchup, and my lists have maybe 1 or 2. And so that's a bit of a concern for me.
Yeah, the whole edition we have to be screening with heroes and
1
unit. It's been rough. And
Well,
that
one
is
of
what
the
when we
that's
talk about Lumineth, that is what I
yeah.
was struggling with.
One of the things I like having a wizard for is being able to just create a screen, because these lists are usually not running any kind of unbind or banish or anything like that, right? Like they're skipping the wizard entirely. They're going all in. So I guess with places of power that's more difficult. But last season it was really nice to just have the ability to just summon a zone out piece, right? Like, oh, here at this point you can't drop within 9 inches of this model now, right? Like you summon the shards or you summon something, and it can't be unbound that turn. So like the turn they're about to go in, that's when you countercast the shards and you deny a whole bunch of space. So that was really nice. And now that we've cut wizards, that matchup got harder.
Yeah, especially this season. And I have the feeling that Stormcast could be the perfect match against another Stormcast, depending on the unit that we have selected.
Oh yeah, if you've got Quicksilver Draft, you win. Almost always. Like if you position properly with a Quicksilver Draft, like if you have concussors on an obscured objective with a Quicksilver Draft, you're probably winning that matchup because there's nothing the other Stormcast player can do to you.
But also sometimes you don't need to commit your unit in the melee, because you can create a good roster fully of shooting, the shotcast. You can target one unit that could be the most dangerous in your opponents, and you can blow them just with shooting. Who doesn't fear, or who doesn't feel the fear about facing reinforced units of long strikes? So there's no way to escape of them, because in the moment if your opponent take them, or they are landing from reserve, they will hit whatever that they want to hit.
Not necessarily. I'm gonna push back on that if you don't mind. This is a key skill in this matchup. You have to know where, like, the point of having screens is that they're denying space. Long strikes have only 18-inch range, so they can't shoot anything that's 9 inches into the enemy army, right? Because they drop outside 9 of one unit. So as long as you're more than 9 inches from your own front line, you can't be shot by long strikes the turn they come into play.
Oh yeah, but counting with the expertise to don't fold them when it's not the proper moment. I mean, obviously you will create your layers. Your first layer will avoid this, but once they are reaching your screens and they are blowing them, you feel a little bit more exposed to this shooting. So we have a lot of units that can do a perfect match. We can do a perfect counter of ourselves. So this is the funny thing. And I have had recently a good match against an Aussie guy, and we almost draw the match, and he won only by 1 point, and it was really funny. But this is still fun to play against Stormcast.
Yeah,
I think it will go into skill, depending on the list, but most of the time it will go into the skill of the players.
Oh, definitely,
for sure. Yeah. It will be very noticeable, the difference in skill in this mirror match.
Yeah, it won't. In my experience, it's usually not obvious who's winning, from like, because it's like every single decision you make, from deployment, from how you move every unit, where you use your teleports, all of that creates, like, it feels like the most chess that a chess game can be. Like, imagine chess but with teleporting units, right? It's like, it feels really good, and it's like, oh, okay, he just lost 2 hammers, but he traded them for position so that his remaining 2 hammers can kill the enemy outright. You know, like it's very strategic. It's exhausting. If I had to do like 3 Stormcast mirrors in a row, I just wouldn't show up for the next day. I'd be too tired.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that sometimes you feel that you are almost defeated, but we have still abilities to move around to the score. So sometimes you feel that you are losing, but suddenly you do something that unexpected for your opponent, and suddenly you are turning on in the score.
Yeah.
So this is something fun. This is something really good, and I love to play Stormcast, to be honest.
I am not. I am not very worried about Javelin Paladors in a mirror. Honestly, I feel like Rend 1 telegraphed non-flying attackers, I can deal with that. I can put a screen in their way. They can't fly over it. They'll hit the screen and then they'll die. Right? The units I'm worried about are prosecutors, partly because they can ignore covering fire, which is really, really annoying. Because if you get charged by a lot of stuff in this game, reinforced long strikes to have a good way of just blowing half of it away before it gets to you. Prosecutors just ignore it, though, which is very annoying. What else would I be worried about? None of the big dragons are a threat. Long strikes, prosecutors. You can redeploy against Tempesters. I'm trying to think of what the problem units would be. It's like, yeah, it's just like random. It's the biggest problem is just random charges, like 9-inch charges happening. That can really define a Stormcast mirror, which is very annoying.
And the recycle concept.
Oh yeah, recycling is very good for sure.
Recycle on the dragons is really tough. It's really tough.
Mm-hmm.
I have in my last match against Slaanesh, I have been recycled every single turn to my javelins, and I won the match just shooting to the prepper units, reaching them. I mean, even with the penalty of your movement, because they are cutting the half of your movement with a spell. Even with that, the javelins feels a good resource to reach to the opponent and also to shooting and to kill something. And you are pinning something that you need to stay being tangled in some part of the field. So it's not about they are not being a hammer, but they are a good resource to pin something when you need that they still blocked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is something that we need to take hand right now, because probably in the future the javelins will be fully modified.
We should do a how to counter Stormcast video. It's such a hard army to beat. I feel like most people who beat Stormcast don't understand how they beat them. Or like, a lot of times it's like the Stormcast player made a crucial mistake and it snowballed the whole game because they didn't think like 3 turns ahead, which is really hard to do, right? It is a very difficult thing to do, but it feels like it's one of those two things more often than not. It's like the Stormcast player made a huge mistake, or the other opponent just had no idea what they did, and they just happened to win, you know? I'd say that's probably like 60 to 7% of all Stormcast losses worldwide.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to.
And last time,
go on.
Waters.
Sorry, the last I faced that I first with, especially in the last city that I used. I was using Daughters of Khaine. Was really hard against the Sundrake guards, especially when they take all the benefits of the charge, of the rampages and so on, and they are, when you are facing them, I have the feeling that why this fucking unit is not doing the same when I am using it, you know. Feels so stupid to put it against a good unit that is not performing well in your hands.
I've definitely felt that. That's why I don't like the Gardas Grandhammer thing. I don't make deep strike charges. I don't rely on them. I can never. When it matters, they just always fail for me.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, exactly.
If Eltharion cannot make 3 inches charges, the Grandhammers will not make the 9-inch charges.
Yeah, and then you look over and there's a guy playing like 3x6 Grandhammers, triple charging all of them and making every charge 3 games in a row, and he's having a great time, you know, like.
Yeah. And I stopped counting the failed charges from Eltharion when he failed his 10th charge during Worlds.
Awful. We'll get there.
Yes.
Okay, maybe we should try to speed up then, because we want to get there. It's already been over an hour. Daughters of Khaine, they're doing exactly what they did before, right? Cheap hammers, lots of them. They Witch elves do a ton of damage for only like 200 points, and then they have teleporting reserves and screens. They're starting to tech in snakes now. I've noticed in some of the 5-0 and 4-1 lists, snakes are making a comeback. So even if they nerf witches, well, daughters I think are still going to be okay because snakes are still okay. There was also this one crazy guy who brought like 15 avatars of Khaine or something stupid. His list was just like avatar of Khaine 20 times.
Okay.
Love it.
Yeah.
This is great. I'm
Yes.
so glad they designed a game where spam is not only allowed but encouraged.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the list is the same. They just lost 20 witch elves, and
Yep.
they
I
played
think
the
it's
same-
fine.
exact same.
I think Daughters is
Yeah,
fine.
sure.
They're an interesting army to play with, an interesting army to play against. I think Fire Slayers just does it better right now. Like basically the same thing. Like with the moving in the hero phase, I think Fire Slayers are just a better version of it. But Daughters are still interesting. They're fine. They're not overpowered. They're good, but not
No, they're
amazing.
okay.
Yeah.
Against
And
a
if
shoot,
they
against
nerf
shooting, yeah,
go.
against a shooting army, I feel that this is the worst counter for
Oh yeah.
Doctors or Khaine. But if you are
Depending
pure
on the-
melee, you are suffering against them.
Yeah.
You
Depending on
can.
the battle plan, and if the rumor is true and the cauldrons will not be obscured anymore, they will start struggling. Yes, for sure. They're gonna get shot off the board.
Yeah, they're going to be very weak to shooting soon. That's one of the reasons people are using the Shadow Stalkers over the Harpies or whatever they're called, Life
Kinnerai.
Takers. Yeah, Kinnerai. Because the Shadow Stalkers can get obscured, right? That's one of like the main reasons you use them instead. And the teleport every turn is really good too. But that's pretty much Daughters. They're still doing the same thing they did last Battle Scroll. Yeah. All right, honorable mentions. Slaanesh. They won Worlds, right? The Slaanesh player won Worlds. Awesome. So
That's very
obviously they're a good army. But they're so fragile. I feel like Stormcast have such an easy time playing against them. It's crazy. Hopefully, Glutos can't be obscured anymore in a couple weeks.
Yeah, that was
and if-
exactly what
yeah.
I want to say.
That's the only thing. That's the only difficulty that comes in that matchup. But the rest of the
Yeah,
army
the
just
guys
falls
that
apart.
The guys that can appear in your movement phase, and then if you
Oh, yeah,
use a
yeah.
command, they can move free. They are
The
also very
Slankors.
dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to be very good
Oh,
at summoning them. And
They're not
sending
overpowered by
screens.
any means, though, right? Like I think Slaanesh
No.
is like Daughters, where they're so weak to shooting, that it that kind of just regulates itself. Like the meta keeps them in check. If they ever get good, shooting just blasts them off the table.
And I
Yeah.
feel that they are good. I mean, they are not amazing army right now. They have good resources, but you can deal with. Doesn't matter what kind of units they are taking. Just the only thing is, I hope Glutos could be shoot really soon.
Yeah, that's
After these.
Glutos is kind of just holding everything together. Everything else is so fragile. It's an army full of glass hammers with no recursion. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay,
Yeah.
you hit them first, you win, and Stormcast hit first.
Yeah.
Lumineth. There's a few different things going on with Lumineth right now. People are still having success with the Alarith stuff, even though arguably Blade
know
Masters, what are they called?
Right,
Blade Lords. Blade Lords are definitely like the meta pick because -1 hit, +1 save from Banner Blade. Just good all around unit with speed of Hish. They're fast enough, right? But I feel like Lumineth is still just like they're still just doing the combined arms thing, but they do it worse than other armies do it, right? Like they do it worse than
They are-
Kharadron does it. They do it worse than Cities does it. Well, about the same as Cities, really.
They are too elite.
But you're right.
That is the problem
Yeah.
with them. They have become very expensive, so they have very few units. The problem that I had at Worlds was this: I could not take the board. At some matches, they just ignored me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
They
they're not.
just stayed on the obscuring and sent this, stupid things on the sides to get my objectives. And or do I hold the castle or should I go up?
Yeah.
And the Huracan stuff are not that good in my opinion.
Oh, it just
right now.
dies to
The
any
obscuring-
shooting. It just gets shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and the obscuring hurts them very bad. In some
Mhm.
matches, they do literally nothing. and
Yep.
they are too expensive. So they are in a weird spot. I think that they are going to slowly go down in win rate. I think we are still looking at some outliers, in my opinion. They are not bad, but they are not as good as they seem. As we are
The
going to see in
Lumineth win
the...
rate is like a mirage, where it makes them seem better than they actually are. They feel they're going above 50. They're somewhere like 54%, I think, like 50 to 54, usually depending on the changes every week. It's very volatile, but they actually feel like a below 50% army, right? They're somewhere in the 45 to 50 bracket there. It's just like some of their bad matchups are so bad and some of their good matchups are so good. I don't know.
Against destruction, they are insane.
Oh yeah, -1 hit is amazing against every destruction
you can
army.
get charged by all a Cruel Boy army, and they will deal like no damage.
Well, Cruel Boys, that's the one I would be worried about because the crit mortals, right?
Yeah, Cruel Boys, yeah.
But every
But
other
they
one,
don't
yeah,
charge.
like ogres,
Yeah,
Iron Jaws, yeah, all that stuff. Gargants hitting on 5s. Get out of here! What are they doing? Flesh Eater Courts. We all thought they were going to be overpowered because they have so many different ways to go. They are good. They feel good. They're just not like that good. Like they feel balanced despite having all this trickery. Maybe because it's been the same trickery that we've been dealing with since 3rd edition, maybe people have learned to play around it. Maybe the lists just haven't coalesced into the right form yet. That could be the issue, right? Like maybe people haven't found the Flesh Eater list. Because you can do monsters, you can do knights, you can do serfs, you can do any combination of those 3. And maybe it's just taking time for people to figure out, like, settle on which is the best list.
Yeah.
So wait and see with Flesh Eaters. They are a strong army for sure. They're kind of like, what if Daughters of Khaine could resurrect every one of their units? That's kind of what they're like.
And also had monsters which weren't the Shadow Queen.
Yeah, and they're good, and they're like 230 points inexplicably. I don't understand how any of those monsters, and like the King is 350. Like, what the hell, man? That's so cheap. Yeah. That's crazy. Star Drake is 480. Like,
it's insane.
Exactly. I mean, right now, in an overall overview, the Dead Alliance is the best one, and in my perspective, because they have a lot of recursion, they have a lot of resources, they have everything. So in the most of the games, they are, if you don't take care about your movements, they will be overwhelming you. So this is something that is not easy to deal with, but they are fun. And exclusively about Flesh Eaters. Flesh Eaters has a good range of units. You can do a lot of rosters with a lot of units, and they feel so good. It doesn't matter what kind of units are you using. So this is something good. They can do a good match. They can do big match. They can spam their units with the ghouls, with the grid guard, and so on, and they will be fun. And they will be doing the good. So this is something what I really admire on the Flesh Eater Courts. They are really good. To me, is probably the 4th or 5th army also. That could be interesting to see.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I think the armies I listed above are kind of just currently they're performing better and they're kind of more common. But it could just be like a meta shift. Like maybe the Gitz chariots are preventing Flesh Eaters from being very good, right? Because Gitz is always a popular army, and if those chariots are everywhere, like how does Flesh Eaters do anything when they can't charge at all? They always get charged, and they're the kind of army that wants to hit you first, then die, then come back and hit you a second time. But if Gitz are preventing you from hitting that first time, then you just can't really do anything. And then Stormcast, same thing. Stormcast want to hit you first. Fire Slayers hit you first. Kharadron hit you first. Yeah, very weak to shooting. They're another one of these armies that's quite weak to shooting. Yeah,
it's good. But anyway, the only thing that I can't understand is why Oshiran is the best miniature in the game.
The decade on the decade.
It's a sick model.
Yes. Yeah, it's good, but not the best one. I mean. To me, like obviously, Bastian is the best one.
I agree,
Yeah.
but many people voted, so
Yeah.
we can't do anything about that.
All right, let's
Okay,
talk
Tzeentch.
Anyway.
Tzeentch. Tzeentch is doing very well. But like always, there's like 5 people playing Tzeentch. So I don't know how relevant it is to say, like, obviously, like, Tzeentch is never bad. Tzeentch is always a good army, but it's just played by a dozen people worldwide. So, and they love that army to death for reasons that our mortal minds will never be able to understand. They love that army and they play it super well. And every edition Games Workshop nerfs it and takes their tools away, and they still find ways to do well with it. So Tzeentch is doing really well. Their win rate is very good. They're having good performances. There's just like none of them. So odds are you might be able to play the rest of the season and never face Tzeentch because it's a super rare army. So I don't know how much it's worth talking about.
But we will face it.
I mean,
sure. We have
Yeah.
a good friend that plays it very well. But
yeah, but in the last year, I have faced only once.
Exactly.
no,
That's
I
my
play
point.
against him.
There's
often, so-
somehow there's more Fireslayer players than there are Tzeentch players. That's
Where in Mexico we have like 10 Fire Slayer players, so we face them a lot.
Yeah.
And we
Oh, yes.
have
Yes.
that guy that plays Tzeentch.
Yeah, they are playing. You are finding these guys in every single corner. So, but for
We can talk a little bit about what do they do. The list that they are using now, it's the one with the Sangors, which is a very big
Yeah.
block of infantry unit that has a lot of wounds, and they can get a 5 of word. They can
they have
They-
cheater.
they
They
can
get
get a lot of-
guaranteed charge, right? Like that's what it
Yeah,
is.
they
It's
can,
Zangors with a guaranteed charge.
and they have the same unit as that does the same as Vigilors, so they can go +1 to the hit roll, so they can do some weird stuff there. They are if they bring the chicken, they are weird. They are very weak to shooting. So that's some of that, and the damage of them it's not that high. So they can throw a lot of dice, but they are not that high. So that's basically what they are running.
Yeah, Zangors. Okay.
only 1% of the people population, AU's population plays Tzeentch.
Yeah, so if you go to a GT with 60 players, odds are you will face 0 Tzeentch. There will be 0 Tzeentch at the event. Even if there is one, the odds of you facing them are very low. Okay.
Exactly.
People love win rates. Let's look at the win rates. Obviously, we have to preface this that Age of Sigmar is a niche game, and that even the most popular armies still aren't cracking 1,000 games played months into the season. We just have to accept the fact that we're dealing with small sample sizes, and this is just like, it's interesting. It's not defining. It's not like we can go in and say like, oh, this is like a 65 35 matchup, and that's bad, so I'm going to tailor my list. So we can't do a significant level of analysis, but it's still fun to look at the win rates. And it kind of ties back to what we were saying before, right? Like, so some of the ones that stand out to me, like Lumineth coming in at 55%, that doesn't feel right to me. They don't feel like a 55% win rate army. For the record, 55% is like the threshold to being considered overpowered. In the eyes of Games Workshop, they consider a 55% win rate army too strong, needs to be nerfed, right? Like, that's just the edge of it.
So maybe the first thing that we have to state here is that it's very balanced. I don't know. I don't remember exactly the numbers at the end of third, but 58 it's not that high.
No, we had some that were like, we had some armies last season, last battle scroll even, where it was like 65% win rate, right? Like, that was nuts. It really does feel like skill is the most important thing right now. Like, Slaanesh where's Slaanesh on here? Actually doing really well. Okay, yep. I was going to say, their win rate has been low for a long time, as far as I can tell. Maybe my brain is getting foggy. But they just won the World Championships, right? So it's like, skill matters more than anything else, more than the army you pick. Unless you're playing slaves without the regiment, then, yeah, sorry, the enemy, if they're as good as you, they're going to win. But for the most part, any army you pick is good. Daughters of Khaine come out as the number one army. Mm-hmm. They don't feel like the number one army, right? When you play them, they do not feel like the strongest army in the game. They feel like one of the top 10 armies, but not the number one army.
it feels weird. It's like, I don't know, like people who were playing these armies very well just kept on winning after the battle scroll, even when the armies are not that strong anymore. That's how I feel. Like that is why we get these high win rates for those armies. So
Okay,
it's weird. I think
it could be inertia from the previous thing, like events just kind of like rolling
uh,
in. People haven't adjusted yet.
yeah, the people were the good players were still playing these armies, and they were doing well. They kept on winning, but the army, they don't feel that strong anymore. So I don't know. That's my feeling. With Lumineth and with Daughters, they are not bad, but they are not as high as this is showing.
The situation is about the frequency that you are facing a pure melee army. I mean, in Chaos, in Sigmar is about melee. It's not like a 40k that is completely shooting. Because in the moment that you are facing an army that is compounded by shooting armies, you are really struggling to win or even to score properly playing with Doctors of Pain. So let's say in a GT, three three games playing against a pure melee army is feasible,
Mm-hmm.
and you will have good chances to have a good result. So that's the point. Doctors of Pain, the most of the GTs, they are winning three matches, and that's it. So therefore,
Yeah,
they are almost 60. So this is something that is not strange to find in the GTs.
yeah, like
So, but they are not the army that could dominate to all the rest of the
right.
armies.
They're not the army that's going 5-0 and winning GTs. They're the army that's going 3-2, 4-1 sometimes. Sometimes they pull out a 5-0.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but consistently, yeah,
Tzeentch, on the other hand, when it pops off, it goes 5-0 and it wins GTs. But
Mhm.
yeah. Actually, surprisingly, a large number of Disciples of Tzeentch games. Look at that. 265. More than Slaanesh. Weird.
Yep, yep.
Very interesting.
Their frequency and obviously the elo for the Tzeentch player is high. So this is something that we need to be reminded. Most of the people that are playing Tzeentch is because they have a good experience. They can take the best advantages of the army, and they are playing with Tzeentch because they have good resources to perform some good movement, good tactics during the game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about the elo, but
Yeah.
it's not about the most of the people is only buying an army is because the aesthetic of the army, but since it's a kind of weird army aesthetically speaking,
Yeah, I agree.
but
Weird is their aesthetic. That's
and
what they
that's
go
maybe
for.
exactly that's the reason that only 1% of the AOS community is playing as
Yeah.
Tzeentch. It's a joke. It's not real. That
Um,
it's a joke.
Nighthaunt have only a single 5-0 since the battle scroll. They did go 7-1 at Worlds, but only a single 5-0 result since the battle scroll. That kind of tells you everything, right? It's like if you have the tools to beat Nighthaunt, you will beat Nighthaunt. It's they really struggle to 5-0 reliably because of that.
Yep.
What
It's a
else can we
kind of
talk about
same
here?
situation that voters okay. Yep.
Yeah. Gitz, I think their win rate is deceptively low. They feel more like a 58%, 60% army than
Yep.
53. I think part of that. Well, we've got the numbers here for the last 4 weeks, and yeah, Gitz are going up to 55. So they're trending upwards, which is terrifying.
Yeah, for sure.
um, Stormcast perfectly balanced, 50% win rate, no changes
And I agree with
required.
that. And I agree with that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they are good, but they are not like OP.
Yeah.
So I think I agree with that. The ones that I maybe Soulblade's a little bit better than this, just a little.
No, I think 48's about right. What's Soulblight doing besides Bacchanal of Blood and either spamming True Bloods or spamming Blood Knights? That's it. That's all they do.
I yeah, I haven't
The
seen something different.
Fortress, Fortnite's very good.
Fortnite's good, but long
with-
strikes are better.
Yeah. Well,
You know, like okay, like all right, I can understand why it's 48. You know, yeah. Nurgle, I think, I don't know. I haven't played Nurgle in a while. It really fell off last couple editions. It's been getting less and less popular. And back in second and start of third, it was really popular, but it just hasn't been that popular since then.
Nurgle has become right now, maybe because the hype has become becoming into.
Oh, the new
most
book is coming.
frequently used.
Yeah.
Yes, and also recently I have faced to Raymond Lane, and oh god, that Nurgle list was really, really, really good. And
Yeah.
I suppose that probably in the first quarter of the year, after release the new units, we will be leaving a lot of games against Nurgle.
Well, there have been some rumors as to there being significant changes to how Nurgle operates. For example, not everything is going to have a 5-up ward all the time. So we're talking like a Nighthaunt, Kharadron style revamp of the army. So we'll see. I mean, it didn't work out for Nighthaunt. They ended up in a very bad state. But Nurgle is getting a lot of units, and they're getting a lot of different units. So it could go either way.
Yeah. Yeah, I have heard the same.
Cruel Boys at 46 doesn't feel right. They were, like 2 months ago, they were one of the best, maybe the best army in the game. And 46, I think what happened here is that all the good players stopped playing Cruel Boys. Right? They just moved on to a different army.
Yeah. I agree.
Because they're still very good.
Agree.
They lost 1 or 2 units, but they're still very good. And they have the tools to deal with the meta. So I think it's just a matter of, like, the skilled players are playing other armies, perhaps.
Yeah, I agree. They should be a little bit higher. But going back to the thing that I said, this is very balanced. So maybe these changes are like hidden somehow. So
it is very balanced.
The game has
like we talk. The top 4 armies don't feel that strong. Like these numbers don't feel like they're correct. Like I would subtract probably 3% off each of these, and then another and then 3% off Lumineth as well, and that starts to look more accurate to me. All right, I'm gonna use the washroom, and then when we come back, we're gonna talk shit about Khorne and Hellsmiths, which are the 2 worst armies in the game. And yeah, I'll be right back.
Yep.
Sure.
And what are you expecting for the coming months, Tocayo?
¿Qué pasó?
¿Qué estás esperando? ¿O tú qué esperas aquí en el meta? ¿Cómo que se vaya a mover para el siguiente
¿El meta?
para el siguiente cuarto?
Pues sí creo que Gitz le van a pegar. Torres va a caer porque le vas a poder disparar a los calderos. Que quizá a lo mejor se puede empezar a llevar sin calderos. Llevas más cosas.
De hecho, sí.
Y las
Si
cosas
juegas-
a pie, o sea, la
si
medusa
juegas-
a pie. La medusa a pie, metes
juegas-
disparos con las medusitas. O sea, si llenas de más cosas el tablero, yo creo que todavía puedes jugar chido.
Sí, porque Kinerai, las Kinerai no. Y las Melusai 2 no necesitan calderos, güey. La neta, yo creo que va a estar bastante bueno.
Sí.
Sí, yo creo que se va a cambiar ahí. También sí, también espero que
seguimos
se pueda hacer
en
algo con. Sí, ya vi. Okay, guys.
So we were saying in Spanish, we didn't know that we were still live. That we think that how are we going to think that the meta will or these stats will change after the battle score update that it's coming on December? And we were saying that maybe Gitz will get a little bit, it will get a little bit too much of a nerf, and maybe Daughters will be still playable. Maybe switching lists, maybe taking off the cauldrons or not depending so much on them, and bringing more infantry heroes to buff and bring in more units.
Well,
So
they'll go snakes. Snakes are good. They'll pivot into
We were
snakes.
saying that. Yeah. They will pivot into snakes, and you can bring snakes and the witch elves.
Definitely.
You can pivot into infantry heroes instead of the cauldrons and bring more stuff. So I
Yep.
don't think it's bad.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, especially probably 2 or 3 weeks, 5 weeks ago, one list, one IGT with only pure melee size, so with a lot of strike first, and was really good, a good roster analyzing the elements. Yeah, but anyway, sorry.
Okay. Let's talk shit about the 2 worst armies in the game, in my opinion. First off, Blades of Khorne. I think Blades of Khorne might be the worst army in the game. They are slaves to darkness, but worse in almost every single way possible. But okay, sorry, hold on. Why are they bad? Slow, low damage.
Yep.
Their army gimmicks are incredibly strong, but they take way too long to get them online. The only units that are fast and do good damage are too expensive and too fragile and too weak to shooting. And they have basically no defense. Like they can't mitigate taking damage, and they have no recursion. So all the damage they take is permanent, and they don't really have ways to avoid taking that damage because they're not super fast. They're not. They don't have like any debuffs to hit or wound or anything like that. Everything they have defensively requires units dying, but again, they're not fast and they're not punchy. So having units die is tough. It's like, but if that core loop is fixed, this could be an incredibly strong army that everybody should be worried about because their blood type abilities are incredibly strong. Murder Lust is great.
Yeah.
More reliable charging is great. Turning off all weapon abilities in combat is stupidly good. No charge +1 damage, no crit mortals, no crit auto wounds, no anti-infantry, no anti-cavalry, no anti-monster. None of this stuff. You just get none of it. Like, how does a melee army, most melee armies, even combined arms armies, right? Like, Lumineth rely on crit mortals, Stormcast rely on charge +1 damage and anti-infantry sometimes. Nighthaunt rely on crit auto wound. How do these armies deal with Khorne once they have that ability active? Once that ability is active, it's an incredibly different game. The thing is, they'll lose the game before that ability is up.
Yeah, that's a problem. And by the moment that that both players have lost so much stuff that this triggers, the game is over.
Yes,
and you can play a game of not wiping the units and not letting your units die, which is easy because they don't have a very big threat range.
No.
So that is why this is very hard for them to achieve.
Yeah.
As a core player, what I have felt during the last months is because feels like an old-fashioned army. All the units that you have has been born, and they are delayed against new abilities on the new armies. So they need a refresh in order to take the best of the skills in the battletome. Because as you have mentioned, Paul, it's not about good mechanics or good synergy. It's simple that you don't have the correct units to connect all these battle traits with the best of the units right now. So probably the best that has been seen recently is the Aor. And Baleful Lords has been becoming the more representative meta for Khorne. But outside of that, I don't see a good connection between battle traits and the performance of the units.
Because they want half the units on the battlefield to die, which means you want to take as few units as possible so that the fewest number of units can die, so you can trigger your super cool effect. So, but that's kind of antithetical to what Khorne wants to do, which is like bring these useless Blood Reavers and Claws of Karanak, throw them at the enemy, score some points, have them die, and have their blood fuel your ascension to, glory. And that feels cool. But then you have this mechanic that's like, well, every one of those units that you bring is making it harder and harder for you to actually do something with your units, right? Like Blood Warriors with crit mortals are terrifying. Blood Warriors without crit mortals are just like, whatever, they're there. Like, they'll take up space. I'll kill them eventually, if they ever get to me, right? Like, they're so slow. But it's like, if they want to buff Khorne, I don't even want to put this out there because I don't want to play against this. But they should change that first trait, the one that requires units dying, instead of it being half of both players' armies, it should just be 8 units. A flat 8 units. Once 8 units have died, you go super kill mode, and that's exactly what Khorne should be about. Right? You throw away cultists, great. Yeah. Khorne loves it. You kill the enemy, great. Khorne loves it. Right now, it's pulling you in 2 different directions. You want fast blood tithe, so that you bring these cheap units, but all of these cheap units make it harder to get the crit mortals. So if they just fix that inconsistency, this becomes a very good but not broken army. Because turning off all weapon abilities in combat is really good. Army-wide -1 shooting is really good. It's just like these 2 things are in conflict and they got to fix it. And I really hope... Sorry, one last point. I really hope they errata this and fix this rather than lowering their points. Because Khorne should not get more stuff on the battlefield. They have enough stuff. The number of units they have is the right number of units, right? It's their rules that are the problem. Sorry, I don't like interrupting. Go ahead.
That's okay. I like it because they will still struggle against elite armies because they don't have enough units for you to get to 8. But against other armies, they will be doing very good. If you bring a lot of chaff, you're going to have to struggle against Khorne.
I picked 8 because that's Khorne's number, right? Maybe it's like, maybe another thing is like your blood tithe can be spent to just power up a unit. Like, spend 2 blood tithe. This unit has the blood slick blades or whatever. They can get crit mortals. You know what I mean? Like, instead of having one mechanic that forces you to bring lots of units and one mechanic that forces you to bring fewer units, just have a single mechanic. There's no need to have 2 of them.
Yeah, especially with in this system, because the quantity of units that you could kill in the best way is just a few in comparison with the previous edition. Right now, there's a few armies that will have more than 15 units. That is the best scenario where you can the best benefits from this kind of skills in the battlefield. But right now, there are some armies that they don't have more than 8 units, like a Lumineth, like a Stormcast, like some kind of this. And considering that you are slow and you cannot reach the target, you cannot kill anything, you will be struggling all the game. And if you are getting tabled in round 3 or in round 4. So this is the most part of the reality of the Blades of Khorne. When you are facing a strong army, you are getting tabled.
Yeah.
And that's
and if David were here, he could tell you that their one good build, which is the 5 Bloodthirsters, but David unfortunately has some baby aggro that he has to deal with. But he could tell you that the problem with the 5 Thirster list, it's not a bad list, but it just dies to shooting. It has nothing that can prevent getting shot. And right now, 2 of the top 5 armies, I'd say, are Stormcast and Kharadron, and both of them will shoot off your Bloodthirsters. So, and that's always going to be the case. There's never going to be a meta where shooting is bad.
Yeah. You killed 3 Bloodthirsters in 1 turn, right?
Yeah. It's rough. it's like they're so weak to shooting. It's crazy. They can't get obscured. They have these huge bases. Yeah, it's not good. So that's Khorne. That's my thing on Khorne. I think they're a bad army for that reason, and I hope that gets fixed because they're so close to being good. Like Nighthaunt, we talked about how their design has failed, and it would require a lot of rewriting of a lot of rules. Heroes and units need rewrites. With Khorne, I think it's just their battle traits that are the issue.
Yep, I agree.
Okay. Let's talk about Hellsmiths, the new kids on the block. And I think they're a very weak army. I think they are weaker than this 46% is showing. I think they're more like a 35 kind of army. Like, feel very weak to me. Because really? the only units that are good, as far as I can tell, the only like hammer units that I'm worried about are the Bull Centaurs and the Razors. The shooting unit, the Infernal Razors. Mm-hmm. The artillery is just too inconsistent. It hits on 4s. Only one of them can get all-out attack. It still has to wound. It still has to rend. Like, it's just inconsistent, right? It's not a significant source of damage. Their only sources of damage are the Bull Centaurs and the Razors. And I guess if you're dumb enough to charge into the sword guys with the crit mortals and the +1 attack, but like nobody's going to be dumb enough to do that, right? Do they have crit mortals? Am I remembering that right?
They
Like the
can get, right?
They can get,
spend
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can improve the crits on 5s.
Yeah.
So yes, it's to hit.
It's just too slow. It's just too slow to do
But I
anything.
have to say.
So the Bull Centaurs are fragile. 4 health each on a 4-up save is not durable, right? You will die to focus fire, and since you're the only unit that has any kind of mobility and any kind of serious damage output, you're going to be targeted first. Bull Centaurs will always die first. They will always get charged first. It feels like there's a reason people stop playing Dawn Riders and Lumineth, right? They do a ton of damage on the charge, and they're super fast. They go 18 inches. Like, oh man, this is such a great unit, and it's a 3-up save, and it's a -1 hit. The problem is it always gets charged first, because 18 inches is not fast enough in this game. 20 inches is what other armies are doing, or teleporting into range and charging you, and then you do nothing off the charge. Like, Dawn Riders don't do anything off the charge, and Bull Centaurs they still do okay damage, but their problem is they just die, right? They just die before they get to do anything. Any competent player will destroy them before they have a chance. There's just not enough points in a Hellsmith army so that you can bring enough screening and enough shooting and enough Bull Centaurs and still bring that special character, and you're like, the army just needs like another 300 points to function. Because the way it's the most honest army. It is the most honest army in Warhammer. No teleports, no reserves. It has to balance this mechanic where they have to be on terrain, which means it's forced movement, right? Like, you're forcing yourself into a bad position because your opponent will be able to take advantage of you splitting up like that. Always. They'll always be able to take advantage of that or deny you from doing it. So it's like you have this mechanic that requires a certain kind of play, positional based gameplay, that a 4-inch move army just doesn't want to do. So the only units that matter, sorry, I keep getting off on a tangent. There's so much wrong with this army. Bull Centaurs always die before they do anything. The only play with Bull Centaurs is Forbidden Power Bridge and then having a +3 charge out of that. But even then, that's still not guaranteed because redeploy exists, right? You're still looking at 2d6 +3 minus d6. So it's not even guaranteed by any means. You also have to cast the bridge, which is not guaranteed. And then the Razors. The Razors are the only other unit I'd be worried about because they can get up to Rend 3 with decent volume shooting. But that requires a lot of resource investment because if you're getting the 3 demonic power on them, you're not getting the +3 charge on the Bulls. And they're also only 4-inch move with a 18-inch shooting range, so 22 threat range. Nobody's worried about a 22 threat range shooting unit in this game. That's just not a problem, right? Like, you'll always be able to hit them first. So yeah, Hellsmiths are just a bad army. They're too weak. They, like, seriously, they need like 20%, like 10 to 15% more points. They're very weak. That's my take. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong because I want them to be good, but they feel bad.
I have the same feeling. I haven't played against them, and I was not surprised by reading the book or anything. And the mechanic, it's not like very powerful. It limits them a lot. And yeah, maybe with point reduction, they could see some better increases in their. I like the book; it's well written, but I think it's a point problem.
They can't get much cheaper. They're already really efficient for what they do. Like, Bull Centaurs at 190 feels like if Bull Centaurs were in any other army, they'd be a busted unit that everybody would spam. Their basic chaff, 100 points for 3-up save, 10 health, that can get a 5-up ward, that can actually turn into a decent damage unit, but it's just 4-inch move, so like it'll never actually be able to get that damage out. And they don't have like a strike first gimmick like a lot of other armies have. I don't know. Yeah, their points can't get that much lower. Like, that's the crazy part. They feel like they need a lot more points, but I feel like they can't get those points. Like, where would you get them? Which unit is like 80 points for the shield, for the screens? 150 points for Bull Centaurs? Like, how do we pick up those points? It's so hard to find. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel that probably we could see the real performance probably in the first quarter of the next year. So right now the people that are still wondering what kind of units, what kind of mix. I don't know if there are coming more 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 options, because I have faced to Malkovich probably 4 or 5 days ago with the AOR, the Army of Renown. I can recall what was the Army of Renown, and really felt really strong. So, but obviously depends on the experience of the guy also. But I will reserve a little bit, because what I have faced against that Army of Renown was really good, and with that saving and with that power of shooting was really good.
Which
I
AOR
love.
was it like the bull spam one?
I can recall. Let me to take a look probably, but yes, I faced them 4 days ago and he won me.
Okay, I have not played against the AOR, so my opinion could be totally different if I play against them.
I have no idea
Yeah,
about it as well. I don't think I read the Armies of Renown, and if I read them, I didn't see anything there, but it might be.
yeah, because that's
Let's
that they are not taking the demonic the DVPs. They are not taken out, so they are taking another kind of skill. But I need to recall
Did they have bull
what is
centaurs in their
the
list? Did they have cavalry?
yeah
Okay, then it had to
yeah,
be
and
the
they
bull centaur one.
they had he had for the shooting machines and a lot of spamming of infantry units.
Okay, so
But was good, and only one move.
I'd have
Yeah,
to look this up because there's one that's only cavalry, right? You can only bring the bull stuff, and then there's one that's just infantry and artillery. So if you had both, then it wasn't the AOR.
yeah,
I will ask the list.
yeah,
Okay.
we can check it and
I
then
will ask.
Okay, we'll figure it out. All right, let's move on because
Yeah,
we've only got an hour. Okay, World Championships happened, and it was great. I wish I could have been there, but I'm so glad that you guys got to go. Eduardo and David and Tristan, who was on our show just a couple weeks ago, and a few other people in the Discord server. And it was a lot of fun to watch it. It was the most invested I have ever been in the World Championships. It was a lot of fun to watch, especially because they streamed it, and we have VODs of David completely messing up strategically against Kharadron Overlords that we will play every single time we have a chance to bring it up. No, I'm just kidding. He did great. He didn't have a lot of experience against Kharadron. So, okay, so let's talk about Worlds. First place was the Hedonites of Slaanesh, which was like a dark horse contender. I don't think anybody. I think if you were looking at the event before it started, nobody would have guessed that Hedonites would have been the winner. Also, there's a typo here. Good job, Paul, for not catching that. All right. Yeah, the Hedonites. I wouldn't have expected it. If I had to guess, it would have been probably Gitz, Kharadron, or Fyreslayers. Those were my top 3 picks, just because they're the ones who can consistently win games, right? If you dodge the right opponents, then get those 3 armies, I think would probably do the best.
we have a mistake there. It says the 8th place, Daughters of Khaine with Soul Blade Great.
Okay.
But let me check it.
Yeah, we'll figure out what that is. Well, we have the
I'll
list
tell you.
here.
I'll tell you.
It was
Number
Daughters.
8,
It was Soul Blight. Yeah,
Soul Blade, Matt Beasley.
Matt Beasley.
It's Matt.
Okay, there we go. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Yeah, so Gitz, I think people expected Gitz to do well. Kharadron, people expected them to do well. Stormcast, we expected Stormcast to do well. I am very glad that I've been vindicated on Stormdrake Guard. I feel like I was one of the first people saying how good they were with the beacon, and Leo definitely showed off how good they are with the beacon. Some surprises here. Like I said, Hedonites, Sylvaneth was a surprise. I was very shocked to see them come in third, because I'm still not sure what Sylvaneth actually do this edition. It feels like the trees are just like such an impediment for them to overcome. They give us so much mobility. I just don't know.
They are not
well,
bad at all. I fought against them, and it was a hard match for sure. The Khorne things can hit very hard. It was one of the armies that could lift off my Eltharion. And they have this thing that they can obscure the whole board. So if they fight against something with shooting, your output goes down way much. Unless they have a lot of monsters. So They are not bad. I don't think that they are super strong. They are not bad.
Yeah, so it's I think it's like Hedonites. It's just a really good player piloting it.
Yep. And the game being
But-
very balanced.
But that list is is really good. It has a lot of synergies, has a lot of skills between each units, and they can cover a lot of things. You can mix all their abilities, and you will have a really complex. It doesn't matter at the end if these quite elite list, but you will have a really good synergy, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Is really good. I mean, it's not about something in special, like an Stormcast falling everywhere or moving everywhere. But this is about movement. This is about trend. This is about improving and debuffing to your opponent. So is about the all the things that you can do with the units. So especially when you are taking the heroes, and I am there. Therefore, this is the reason that I am taking the list into the GT, because is covering a lot of things.
Okay. Well, I'll definitely talk to you about Sylvaneth when we get there, because I want to. I don't understand, and I want to understand. Okay, so let's go through the list because we don't have that much time left. We have some stats here on army popularity, just to show you guys. I'll turn this off. There we go.
The one first place?
No, just what armies people brought. So you can see there was a lot of Gitz, expected, right? With the new chariot rule, there's a lot of Gitz. Flesh Eaters were popular because I think this was riding off the pre-battle scroll changes, right? Like people had Flesh Eater course ready, they were gonna bring it, and it got nerfed. So like, oh, well, okay, I still had the list ready, so I got to bring it, right? Skaven were quite popular. This is probably the most Fire Slayers we've ever had as a percentage. Like, this is awesome. I love it. Fire Slayers have always been like a pretty rare, uncommon army, so I'd love to see. Soulblight, surprisingly popular. Slaves, doesn't matter how good or bad slaves are, there's going to be a lot of them there. Stormcast, pretty much like slaves. Like, it doesn't matter how good they are, there's always going to be people. World Championships is a bit different, though, right? Like, people choosing to bring Stormcast Eternals to the World Championships is like, yeah, that's pretty good. I'm still surprised we got this many slaves. Like, I don't consider it to be that good of an army that it would be.
I am still shocked by Darkion going so good. At least from what's his name? The French guy that won like 2 years ago.
I don't know. Didn't see it.
Tasson. Nicholas Tasson.
Is that Beasts of Chaos? What? Who brought Beasts of Chaos? How is that possible? They're not legal.
No.
I don't know. No.
That
should be something. Yeah.
What the heck?
Oh, that should be wrong.
That's one hell of an event. People are playing illegal armies. I love it.
The official event.
Is it supposed to be Blades of Khorne?
Should be.
No, it's not. Blades of Khorne is on there. What could that be? Weird.
I don't know. This is what's coming from the EOS events. Yeah.
Is it Seraphon? No Seraphon's not. Okay, whatever. Looking at the win rates. When we looked at win rates for armies, I said, okay, these are very small sample sizes. These are extremely small sample sizes. Like, this is the smallest sample. This is one event. Okay, like these win rates mean almost nothing. But they're fun. Yeah. So let's talk about them. Nighthaunt, 75% win rate. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Did they place top 8? No. They just won all the games, but they didn't place top 8. Hilarious. Lowest performing, Slaves to Darkness. Boom. Paul was right. What can I say? It's just not that good of an army. Seraphon are an interesting one to talk about because I feel like that is the appropriate win rate for them at a high level, Masters level event. Right now, they just do not feel like a very good army to me.
Correct.
Yeah, they're struggling for sure.
They need new models and they need a new book. And I feel like it's one of the armies that had such a very powerful army in first edition, and then it got even more powerful in second edition. And ever since second edition, they're like, nope, can't ever have this level of power again. We need to just keep nerfing this army over and over and over until we got to the indexes, where I think the index is the weakest Seraphon has ever been. And it's a shame, because it used to be such a fun army to play. I used to be a Seraphon main. Stormcast was my alternate army. Like, I never...
Croak not having the infantry keyword makes him die.
Yeah, he just dies. No guarded hero.
No. So you can just shoot him and die on the first turn.
Yeah. Best case scenario, Seraphon get another wave of models to replace all the old skink stuff. Like, the Stegodons desperately need a new model. Ripperdactyls really did not age well. Regular skinks could use a refresh, but they're not getting it this edition, so... wait for 5th, I guess. Skaven, 46% win rate. That surprised me. Skaven are a very good army. Very, very surprising that they did not perform as well as I thought they would have. I definitely would have put them as, like...
yeah.
If there was some surprise army winning Worlds, I thought it was going to be Skaven, not Hedonites. I really wanted Fireslayers to win, though. I was trying to tell David, like, if you fight Fireslayers, take a dive. Let them win. You know, like... I want Fireslayers to win. Because they're about to get squatted, man. It's like, this is their one chance to finally burn bright after so many years of being a meme.
Don't worry.
All right, let's take a look at some lists. Oh, yeah, Iron Jaws. Where's that at?
Right. Yeah, it's at
54.
No, it's at 54.
Hmm.
It's 54.
They won more than they lost, so that's good. Yeah.
Yep.
And Lumineth is very low because of me.
It's you. You did it, buddy. Maybe, you know what? You may have saved the whole faction from getting nerfed with your performance. Maybe. Because they're at 55% win rate, and they'll look at the Worlds and be like, well, they didn't do that well at Worlds, right?
And we will get a discount. We were joking about that at Worlds.
All right.
Another Lumineth player.
Let's talk lists. And I want to go through these quickly because I want you, Eduardo, to at least tell us about your experience and everything. So, but I feel like we should talk about them. Yeah, so we talked about Slaanesh earlier, and it's like the Slangor Fiendbloods, the Twin Souls giving everything -1 attack is brutal. The Glutos is just a big... Like, when you use Glutos properly, he feels really, really good. He's like the only unit that feels really, really good in that army. Because he can sit somewhere, and he can survive a turn. Nothing else in the army can do that. But especially if you have Twin Souls near him to give everything -1 attack, like, that's actually a tough brick to shift. So, hopefully they nerf that. Glutos shouldn't be obscurable.
Exactly.
What else? It's still got Blitzbarb Archers. They are still one of the best units in the game. Tremendous amounts of volley power, being able to run and shoot all the time with their faction ability. Yeah, great unit. And then just Twin Souls, because Twin Souls are really good. 120 points for -1 attack. Like, imagine if every unit in the Stormcast army had Karazai's ability to give you -1 attack. That's kind of what Twin Souls are doing here, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What else is worth talking about? Battle tactics.
Yeah, you have the archers with a threat with a very big threat range because they can run and shoot. You have the Glutos, which can stand on an objective, hopefully obscured, and it's very hard to lift with the Twin Souls. And you have the Slangors, which can appear on your movement phase, which is very annoying because screening them is very hard. Because they can step away from you 9 inches or 10 inches, so you don't risk the charge, and then they can move 6, and then they can charge. So pretty annoying, and they can hit very, very, very hard. Yeah. So other than that, he surely played very well.
Yep.
Sigvald has a good performance also.
Sigvald is so swingy, man. Whenever I play against him, he does, like, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, he just bounces off me every time, and I love it. And I know I'm due for, like, a really bad game against Sigvald. But he's also still, like, 7 health, right? And if you can reduce his ward, he just dies so quick.
He's not Eltharion, for sure.
No. And now with the Kharadron Regiment, if 1 point, like a couple points of damage, and his ward is just gone, and then he just dies to the next attack. It's really rough.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Yeah.
And, well,
We can talk about the battle tactics, right?
Indeed.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was seeing only the path that Jim has present in order to be the first. So he only lost against Lumineth.
Yes, Alaric.
Oh boy, maybe they should nerf Lumineth, right? It's the only player that beat the world champion, so
the Alaric.
maybe
Nerf the Alaric. Go ahead.
Yeah, so he took Master the Paths, Intercept and Recover. I think Intercept and Recover is a more reasonable thing when you have shooting. If you have a pure melee army, I would not play Intercept and Recover, but with the Blitzbarb Archers here, and sometimes the Fiend Blood's popping out in the enemy turn, right? Like, you can never really be safe. I think that's a pretty interesting choice.
The Fiend Bloods are very good for this, for sure.
I suppose it's the most dangerous combination: intercept and recover, and the shooting, for sure. I totally agree on that. So because the archers are performing really good. They can reach anything. They can be obscure, and in the moment that they want to just to blow your units using shooting, they will go with the archers really soon. So it's a good mix.
I didn't even
After
notice the fiends. The fiends in here are very interesting because they have that 4-up strike last ability, right? Like a Tree Lord Stomp.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have that next to Fiend Bloods, next to Twin Souls, or next to Glutos, or next to Sigvald, like that's a really interesting. That's like Shield Annihilators, right? It's like kind of like that Phalanx style.
Yeah, he can castle up and threaten you to charge him.
Yeah. We need. I mean, in every single unit, we need to include a mechanic with a strike last, strike first. If we pretend to have good resources against that kind of armies, but right now, even with 3 pins, is really good. But I mean, these guys are performing totally different as Eduardo and myself.
So I'm just double checking what these enhancements do, because there is a Slaanesh player in my area, but I just don't know what these do off the top of my head.
To be honest, I don't know. I don't know too much about.
It's apparently the least popular army in the game, so I don't blame you. That's crazy. They used to be so popular too. They used to be really, really popular. It's weird.
It's the one that forces you to use the temptation die. If you don't use it, you cannot. You can only use core abilities.
Oh,
correct.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's very annoying.
And then the voice box is the -1 attack that stacks with the Twin Souls, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Wow, -2 attacks. Yeah, I could see why that would work. If you're expecting a lot of melee focused stuff, I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the temptation that's very annoying because if you are a wizard or something, you cannot cast spells.
Yeah, that's cool.
Until you use your temptation die, so can be very annoying.
It forces them to use the temptation. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah. The overall, in an overall overview, the path of this guy is really good. He has faced every type of armies since the Stormcast, for Slayers, Nighthaunt, OBR, Gitz, and KO. So it was a good performance. So it was not lucky.
But he lost against Lumineth.
Nerf Lumineth. All right.
Yes.
Let's look at the second place. Gitz. This list is going to get Boingrot Bounders nerfed, right? Like it has to. The only thing it lost to was the guy who won in the finals, and it's just a ton of Bounders. Like it's, oh my god, I hate this list. Chariots and Bounders. It's like, okay, everybody knows exactly what this list is doing, and everybody knows exactly how well it'll perform. Bounders are the kind of unit where you have to reach a critical mass of them for them to do anything. Like the crit mortals have to wipe stuff out on the charge. That's the goal. So if we take away, if you have 3 units charging, you'll kill a screen and then pile into something else. 2 units charging, maybe not, right? So this is definitely the kind of unit they would nerf, and hopefully will, because I don't like spam of any kind.
Yeah, and even in the go ahead.
Yeah. And he fought double mirror matches, 2 times Seraphon, 2 times Sylvaneth.
Yeah, correct. Was really good. I mean, the performance against both Sylvaneths. I mean, the list that he faced in the semifinal was really good. Was a match that was streaming live and was really good.
He just dodged all the shooting. How lucky can you get?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then finally, at the end, 20 Bliss Barbs was all it took.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yes, you're right. Because everything flies, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
interesting.
I wonder how he would have faced off against Kharadron, or like David's list would have just destroyed this guy.
Yeah. Yep. Except from the chariots, but everything else.
Well, you focus fire the chariots down, and then you recycle, and then it's like, okay, you just control the board, right? Like you just run the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
You know what this army's going to do? We were talking about this. They're going to go into Kragnos and Bounder spam. 3d6 charging all the Bounders forward. That's going to be the play. All right, moving on. 3rd place. We have Sylvaneth. So, Luis, tell me what this is trying to do, man. I don't understand what this is trying to do. I see like heroes that are expensive, and I'm like, oh, if this was a Stormcast list, I would hate it. It would be like Krondys, Bastion, Andrasta, and I'd be like, what are you doing? Where are the units?
This is a complete bubble, complete castle at the beginning. This the Warsong Revenant is bringing the war 6 of war to all the units, and Galtenius has in this list he has an no, this is Durtu, sorry, my bad. He has the spell Singer just to become into wizard, and they are using the Etherworld machineries just to use the -1 to hit to all the wizards. Yes, and also Branwich, Drycha, and Beltanos. They are using so good the abilities to take the best about the wildwoods, the awakened wildwoods. So they have a lot of mobility. They can turn off. Baltanos can become a one terrain future into awakened wildwoods. So they are jumping everywhere, and this is the way that they are doing this. So besides, the battle formation allows to probably return one of the models at every single ending turn for the cavalries, in this case the seekers and the lancers. So they have a lot also the recursion and a lot of magic, because they can heal the awakening wildwoods that is far up in the slave, and also 5 up ward. So in a good hands, this kind of list is doing a lot of damage. And they have also mechanics, because the lancers, they have a strike first possibility, and with the brand which they can assign strike first to one unit in the opponent's phase. So it's a good mix.
Where's the damage coming from in this list? Is it just Belthanos and Durthu?
Althanos, Durthu,
Yeah,
and
but and also, but Reich, no, but there is a spell, but you can improve the rent. You select one of the awakened wildwoods, and all the units that are at least at 6 inches to that wildwood improves their rent. So, but if the awakened wildwood has 3 Ps, you will have 12 inches aura to improve the rent. Besides, also Beltanos has the ability to select 3 units to run a charge. So just because yes. So there is a lot of interaction in this list.
yeah,
Hmm.
the Warzone and the Drycha also remove ward saves, and
Correct. Mhm.
they can hit. Valtanos can hit as well. It doesn't have like a very like hammer, like a very defined hammer,
No.
but they all can slap if they roll
Yeah, and also
good enough.
and also they have an spell, and they have also abilities, combat abilities to improve the hit, the wound, and also to debuff to the hit and the wound to the opponents. Also, you have units that performing like Turtu to face monsters, and also you have anti-cavalry with the lancers, and it's a quite balanced. Doesn't look so impressive, but once you're starting seeing the abilities that they have and all the synergies between them, you can realize that they are really good, and there are a lot of abilities. So it's not easy to
It
place also this list.
it feels like it would really, really struggle with, like, long strikes would be a huge problem with this list. Just like
Yeah.
point click monster dead. Next turn, point click monster dead. Like, I don't know how you would avoid that. Not it's not to say the list is bad or anything. I'm just thinking, like,
Yeah.
you know, what is it trying to do and what would it be
Yeah,
weak
I,
against? Another thing I could see this
I
really
mean,
struggling with is like high health, just raw health. Because yes, they can turn off wards. Yes, they have high rend and bonuses to hit and wound, but like there's no max damage here. Belthanos is like weaker than a Star Drake in combat. He's not an impressive max damage piece. He whiffs all the time. Whenever I play against him, he rolls a couple ones and then he does like 6 damage that turn. It's like, oh, okay. Like if this fought against, let's see their win path here. I was gonna say Gitz, Skaven. Surprisingly, they beat Skaven. I wonder what kind of Skaven list that was. Did this lose to the second place list?
yeah,
Okay.
and they also won against KO.
KO
Well, yeah,
and
KO
Stormcast.
doesn't have a lot of health. They just have like if you have good accuracy, you get through KO, and it looks like Sylvaneth has good accuracy, right? Rend, hit, wound. Um, but it seems like the raw damage output isn't there. I could see Gitz being a
Yeah, I
problem,
mean,
right? Like the chariots must be such a nightmare for this list.
to be
Yeah.
honest, they have a lot of abilities that doesn't depend on only one main character or main unit. So this is the good things. If you lose to Voltanos, it's fine. You will still have abilities that could lead you to take good performance during that turn. The worst about this is the shooting for sure, but also you have some spells that could reduce the impact of this. Could reduce the uh, the performance of the shooting, and also you would have a lot of mobility. Sooner or later, you will reach to the unit. If you
Mm.
locate properly the awakened wildwoods, you will have a lot of movement along the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that you will have with Beltanos, because you don't need, even if you lose one awakened wildwood, you will have one terrain once per battle turning into the as a awakened wildwood, and you cannot there's no any ability to kill one feature terrain feature. So this is something good. So there are a lot of things. If you lose to Warson's Revenant because he's flying, and also Beltanos, you will have another three units that could have a good iterations to give you a good performance during the during the battle.
I'd have to see it, I think. To really understand how
Yeah.
this list is doing stuff, I'd have to see it. Because this, obviously, Sylvaneth don't play like other armies. They're not a hammer and anvil, they're not a counter strike, they're not an alpha strike, they're like a weird pinpoint precision damage teleporting kind of army. Like Stormcast, but different than Stormcast. So that's why it's so hard to envision, because I know the Stormcast version of this army, but I don't know the Sylvaneth version. Especially with like monsters and not like you're relying on healing at that point, right? You're not going to kill things outright necessarily. I'd have to see it, and that would be very interesting. Load up TTS later, and we'll take a look.
Absolutely.
All right.
Whenever you have time, I am available.
Fourth place is running the... Oh, this is not the AOR. Somebody brought the AOR, I think, to Worlds, but it's Kharadron Overlords. It's doing what Kharadron Overlords usually does. Wait, no, it's not. It's not at all. It's double frigate with Drekki, harpoons, only 5 Thunderers, 10 Salvagers. This is a weird list. Yep. This is not your usual KO list at all, man.
No.
That's probably why it lost.
This is the guy that faced David.
Yep. Win against Stormcast Eternals round 3. Wait, no. David wasn't playing Sentinels. He was playing Vanguard?
He was playing...
We have this list.
Vanguard, yeah.
Yeah, he was playing Vanguard Wing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me confirm this.
But okay, so it's still got Brock in there to pump up your melee attacks. It's got harpoons, reinforced salvagers. So I guess what it's trying to do is go all in with the frigates and salvagers and get like a big chain fight first combo, all with +1 attack.
Guess so.
Because it doesn't have that much shooting power, right? Like it's only 5 Thunderers, only 6 Sky Wardens. Like there's not a lot of shooting output. So I think this is trying to just like kill you with the charge. Pick the right charge on your terms and get in there. That's probably what the Admiral is doing in here as well.
This guy was the guy that faced David, so my bad is not Sentinels, is Vanguard Wing.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, I can't blame David for not knowing then, because this is not your typical KO list, right? The usual KO list will have more Balloon Boys. They might have just like, it's not this. It's not the MSU Thunderer and Harpoon crew thing going on. Interesting. Very interesting. It did go 6-0, which is very impressive.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know too much about KO.
Me neither,
to be honest.
The boats fly at you. They strike first. The dudes get off the boats. They strike first. And they all have +1 attack because of Brock.
And you have -1 to hit against.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And this is like decent wound density because they brought some of these guys instead of more balloons. Yeah. Very vulnerable to getting hit first. Like not first, like not like top of 1 necessarily, right? Like that's what David tried and it didn't work because he got doubled. I think if he didn't get doubled, he would have won, but like shouldn't have put himself in a position where you're gonna win or lose a game based on a coin flip. Especially when your opponent can re-roll that coin flip. Okay, moving on. I wanted to talk about Leo's list because Leo did actually go 7-1, which is better record than the Kharadron list that went 6-2. But going 6-0, like I count consecutive wins more than I count like overall score. Like a 5. How do I put this? A 4-0 is more impressive than a 4-1 to me, right? Like because the 4-1 means you usually lost one earlier and then you submarine back up to a 4-1. 4-0 means you won 4 in a row, right? Like so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Leo's
5 in a
list, five in a row is, I mean, ideally, right? You'd love to go 5 in a row.
Yeah.
Leo's list is using the Stormdrake Guard recycling that I have been talking about on the channel. It's also using 3 units of Questor Soulsworn with the Thunderhead Host. So he's going to be giving them all +1 hit, which means he doesn't need Vigilors, which is awesome. You can all out attack the Stormdrake Guard in combat, you can all out attack the Long Strikes in shooting, and then boom, your whole army's +1 hit. Awesome, right? Like that's one of the things I've been trying to figure out is, like, I've been trying to use Bastion more and more because I just want to get away from Vigilors because I feel like they're like the weakest 140 points in my list, right? I feel like I can squeeze that and get that somewhere else.
Another unit of Questors. 4 unit of Questors.
Yes. One of the things one of the problems I have with Stormdrake Guard is when you don't have the Extremist Chamber battle formation, you're relying on that 3-up rampage, especially when you have this much melee. Like, you have 3 Questor units and Stormdrake Guard. You have 4 units that want to get into melee total, right? But with no strike first, some of your units are going to take damage before you have a chance to hit. The rampage does help, but that's a single 3-up roll. If you fail that 3-up roll, your Stormdrakes could end up taking damage, or you're forced to attack with your Stormdrakes first, which sometimes it's not always the right choice to attack with them first. Having the Lightning Echelon 3-up to basically get a reroll on your rampage, like, I'm going to fight with 2 units at a time before my opponent fights with 1. That's important. But the Thunderhead Host feels like a necessity here because you've got the 3 units of Questor Soulsworn, which he's taking because he wants to do Scouting Force, right? So it's like, you start with this idea of taking Scouting Force, and then everything kind of snowballs from there. And that's one of the things I don't like about Scouting Force in Stormcast. But he made it work, which is fantastic. Really big props. Long Strikes here. Sorry, go on.
My new list is based on this one, similar. And the 3 units of Questors with Scouting Force are great, with 1 unit of Liberators. Because you can bring them back when they die, and they are still scouts.
Yeah,
and you put them
and you're and you're not reviving Stormdrake Guard, right? So, yeah.
So, and the other thing is that you can. I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry.
I like the Long Strikes for here. I like Long Strike recycling a lot. Reinforced Long Strikes, being able to shoot at something safely, totally free, and then just teleport back to safety. And you usually don't even give up your Knight Relictor in that exchange because you don't have to get that close to the enemy. I really like that. Having it like the option to do it on Long Strikes if you can't do it on Stormdrake Guard, that feels really good. Like, having 2 different units that can take advantage of it gives you options. I love having options. My only criticism here is that, and this is something I frequently struggle with, is Stormdrake Guard are very fast, but they're very expensive. So when you have them in your list, you usually don't have a second fast unit, because every other fast unit we have is expensive as well. Like, we pay a lot for speed. So one of the things I've been thinking about doing is using Stormstrike Paladors along with Stormdrake Guard, and kind of like a double cav setup. Like, imagine this list, cut 2 of the Questors, add in 6 Stormstrike Paladors. It could work, right? And maybe with the 20 points you shave, maybe you drop the Liberators, and maybe you get to Vigilors that way. I don't know. But
yeah, because Stormstrike, the Paladors really like the Vigilors.
They do, yeah. Well, Javelin Paladors do. Stormstrikes, not so much.
Javelin.
Yeah.
But also, I feel that this is something particular about Leo. I don't know if you have seen their matches. This guy has a good look, really impressive, because everything what he's doing is well performed and also has a good look. Whatever that he chooses to do, he has always the good rolls. He has always the good movements, and it's not simple to say, but he's a guy that everything what he is thinking is transforming into the match. It's really good.
Yeah,
But anyway,
he has a level of mastery over the basics that you see when you, and his knowledge of the opponent's army is very good as well, right? Which I think those are the two keys to
Mhm.
playing Stormcast really well is understand the basics of the game at an expert level, like the most you possibly can. And also understand your opponent's army as well as they do. If you know those two things, your win rate with Stormcast goes up really high. Like it becomes one of the better armies because once you understand how the game wants you to play and how you understand what your opponent's trying to do, you can then understand how do I stop my opponent from doing that and then hitting them, like sneaking in under the belt and hitting them when they're not expecting it. And that's how Stormcast should play. Nothing in the rules tells you that, but that's how you should do it. Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Anything else we want to say about Leo's list?
No, it's
Uh,
impressive. I've been trying something similar, and I've been liking it a lot.
Good. I'm glad I was right about Stormdroid Guard. I'll take the
Yeah.
W there. Hell yeah. I'm so happy. It validates so much of what I've been saying.
yeah, I was almost laughing because you described the list of Eduardo.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
similar.
because
Yeah, no, but because I removed the Stormdrake and I'm put the Paladors in and the Vigilers. It's
Okay.
very similar.
Yeah, very similar
I think
concept.
it's
Yeah.
the same list. Yeah, just removing the Stormdrakes and having the Paladors, we have a bigger threat range, and adding the Vigilers. I
Mhm.
think that's my list.
Oh, it's the same cost. Yeah.
Scouting. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Scouting, it's very good because you can put the 3 units down, do the first part of the tactic if you can, and then you don't matter if you don't have 3 scouts or more because for the other ones you need 2 scouts, and for the last one you just need 1 scout alive. So it feels pretty good with so much teleports and stuff.
Yeah, I
It's
think
easier.
I think the Javelin Palador version is better personally. The Stormdrake list, there's friction here when you're trying to run Thunderhead Host and Scouting Force with Stormdrakes, which don't count towards they don't count towards the Scouting Force and they don't count towards they do count towards Thunderhead Host, but they don't get Lightning Echelon. Is my point. There's friction. Yeah. Stormdrakes
and
feel
something
great though.
funny about this, he defeated to the same guy of Dr. Khaine twice in this
The
tournament.
same player? He got matched against the
Yeah,
same
the same
player?
player.
Wow.
Yeah,
Weird.
Because they went
Yes.
into the World Championships bracket, and then you get paired by win rate and by wins.
Interesting.
yeah,
Weird.
yeah. But something, yes, something weird. But he did it twice.
All right. We are running out of time, so we don't have time to talk about Tzeentch or Daughters of Khaine or Soulblight. Unfortunately, because I want to get on to talking about the list we played. Like the Stormkeep guys, we played at. I wasn't there, obviously. If David was here, he'd tell you all about his list. This is the one that we talked about in our last list building episode: double Vanguard Paladors, long strikes, double Vigilors. It's a good list. Personally, I think I would cut one of the units of Starstrike Javelins here for Karazai and cut the Lord Aquilor for a Chariot, I guess. Seems about as useful as the Lord Aquilor. But yeah, if you want to hear David's thoughts on this list, he talked all about it on our last Gladiatorium episode. So I will definitely remember to add a timestamp here and a card for you to click on. For sure, I'll remember that. Yeah, totally. Yeah, he was doing really well, and then he faced off against Kharadron Overlords, completely made the wrong strategic decision. He chose to go first. He had the choice. He chose to go first, and then he got doubled. Yeah, that's not the right choice. The VOD is available if you guys want to go see it. I think a lot of the decisions he made were really good, but that was probably the biggest single mistake, was going first, choosing to go first.
And I saw his match against in the Shadow round. He was about to go into the top 16, and he played against a guy from Warpire Minas. I don't remember his name.
The Skaven guy.
Skaven.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a very close and very thrilling match. It was very interesting. We wanted there until late in the night.
And that was not on stream, right?
No, it wasn't
That's
on
a
stream.
shame.
But it was very amazing. It just went all down into a one failed charge from the Lord Aquilor.
Oh.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
That Skaven player is very, very good at Skaven though. He's like it's like one of us on the Stormkeep. Like he's a very dedicated Skaven player.
Yeah. And he ended up like 12 overall, something like that.
Nice. Yeah. We can talk about some of his games here. You'll notice he played the Baleful Lords twice, 2 different players. He just shot them off each time. Yeah. Fire Slayers shot them off because a bunch of Magma Drots can't have no protection against shooting. Struggled then into Bone Reapers, which you might expect because, oh boy, Javelins with Rend 1. This whole list is Rend 1 for the most part. Like Longstrike's the only source of not Rend 1, and that can really struggle into Bone Reapers for sure. And then Gitz, I'm not sure why he dropped those last 2 games. I wish he was on the stream to talk about it.
Yeah, he couldn't make it.
Groton Rat. Oh, hey, buddy. How's it going? Do you think the Vanguard stuff is going away or getting a refresh? Notice the Store Anniversary Mini is what looks like a new Vanguard Hunter. Wondering if that means we're going to see new Vanguard. We are definitely going to get new Vanguard. There was the new Underworlds Warband, and then there's the Special Edition Knight Zephyros. They've definitely got a Vanguard rework in the works. We have no idea what that looks like. It could mean a refresh of every model. It could mean something completely different, because it does seem like they want to move Stormcast away from being a shooting army. Like, the only shooting unit they've put out in the last 2 editions has been the Vigilors. Now, this could be because they're waiting for Vanguard to be the shooting core of our army. Or means it could mean anything, right? Like, we have no idea what it could mean. Vanguard is probably going to get remade, though. And it looks like it's going to be remade soon. But you never know. It could be a couple editions before they remake it. Sooner or later, though, all the old Stormcast are going to be removed. There's no saving any of that stuff. The old models are going to be removed.
Yeah, don't buy them.
Or replaced. Removed or replaced. Not sure which one yet.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great mini. Yeah, the Store Anniversary mini is sick. Hold on, I have a couple here. One sec.
Show to us.
Yeah, because Corb still hasn't picked his up. Still got a couple of these sitting around here. Can I get that to focus somehow?
Yeah, just a little bit behind. Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, anyway, fantastic model. Really cool pose. So expect to see a Vanguard rework at some point. We have no idea when. Okay, so moving on from David's list. Eduardo, you took Lumineth, and we begged you not to. We begged you to play Stormcast. But no, run us through your list and run us through your matchups. Like, why did you come to this list in particular?
I'm gonna say it first that I decided to go for Lumineth because of the painting. Because a friend of mine told me you have to go with your Lumineth, which are very well painted, and they take this into account, and it is very important at this tournament. And I'm glad that I heard him. It made me made some choices which I knew that were not like the best list. But I started trying it, and I did very well here in Mexico with this list. I won the last tournaments with it, and so I decided to go for it, and I am very glad because I managed to get 3rd place in painting at Worlds. So nice. I am very proud of that. But yes, this list lacks a little bit of board control, and that was the worst thing that happened to me.
Sorry. Before you go on, I feel like I'm going to lose this point. Do you have photos of your army that we can put in server?
Like right now?
Yeah, we'll put them up in like the World Championships channel that we have there. We'll add them later. Do you have photos, right?
Okay. Yeah, I do.
Okay. We'll get them later. I just wanted to make sure. Sorry, before we move past that point with the painting contest.
Yeah, I'll send it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the idea of this list was to make a castle, a very strong castle, based on the ability of the Blade Lords, which they get. I think that they might be the most tanky unit in the game right now, because you can make them ethereal, so they will ignore rend. They are on a 4-up save. They are 20 health. You get -1 to hit against them. and you have a spell which allows you to ignore the first damage per phase per unit if they are close to the wizards, and they also get a 5 up ward save if they are close to the wizards.
Mhm.
So they get very tanky, and they can slap back very hard because they can either go for a bunch of attacks, which can be Rend 2 against infantry, and they also have crit mortals, or you can just decide to go and throw 11 dice on a 2+1 mortal wound. And as Lumineth, you can also pick 2 units to fight. So the idea is that you bring this block of Blade Lords with Otharion, which can also be ethereal, 3 up, 4 up ward save, ignoring 1 damage per phase, and people charge at you, and you get demolished. You don't do enough damage to this list, and they hit you back very hard, and you get demolished. And on the back, you have the Sentinels, which are a threat to make people come at you, because you don't have very good mobility here. You don't have anything for run and charging or stuff. You just have the River Blades, which can teleport into the borders, and they can threaten objectives and stuff. But you are not very mobile. So the idea was for the Sentinels to keep pressuring people to come at you. It works against some lists like Fire Slayers, the Magma Drots. This is a very good list against them. They usually just bounce back against other type of destruction armies like Iron Jaws or Kraknors and all the ogres and all that stuff. And the idea is to go for 5 drops and just trying to get the reroll. And you have also the Beam of Hish, which is a spell that you can cast from each wizard into different units, and it increases the amounts of mortal wounds that you deal against the units. I don't like to complain about dice, but I really had a rough time. Eltharion failed, like, I don't know, 11, 12 charges around the tournament. You can see the stream as well. I tried to shoot with the Sentinels 1 corpse card, and I failed. I couldn't kill it. And it was like this. My opponents were like apologizing all the time. But I had a blast. It was an amazing experience. And yeah, I don't know what else.
I really like having 4 wizards and all of them having that spell that does more mortal wounds each time you've cast it this turn. I think that's just such a cool thing. How did that play out for you? Was it as good as you thought it would be? Because you're paying 10 points for that lore, so it better be good.
It's good because it has the ignoring damage per phase and the beam. And it also has another spell which was very important, which is stopping units from using run abilities, which include redeploy, or for example, the Fire Slayers, you can stop them from running if they want to use their rune for run and charge, which is very useful. You also have the Rune of Petrification for dealing with strike lasts, giving strike last. So in some games, I send up the rune and gave strike last, for example, to a unit of Chosen, so they didn't dare charging at that turn. So the spell lore is good. It is actually very good. The problem with the list is that usually you have less movement, or you are very predictable with your movement, so they can stay away from the range of the spell until you get into the castle.
The only spell, like, my brother plays Lumineth, and anytime I'm playing against him, the only spell I ever care about is Speed of Hish. Like, as an opponent, that's the only spell I'm ever worried about. He can do Total Eclipse, he can do Ethereal, he can do Protection of Hish. I don't care. The only one that matters is Speed of Hish. Because without Speed of Hish, this is a 6-inch move army.
Yeah, with Flawless Commander, everything moves 2 extra, which makes you to move 8.
8-inch move army. Okay. It's still not good.
Yeah.
It's like Nighthaunt, move 8 inches, but they're still a slow army.
Yeah, but they have shenanigans to teleport and do other stuff, and
sure.
Here with this list you don't have to.
Yeah.
So if you watch the match that I was on stream, it was very interesting because I didn't know what to do. It was the battle plan with 4 objectives on the corners, and I had to commit to go to fight the opponent, and he just split his army on 2 and kept sending stuff at my objective. So I have to move through the center to try to go and claim his objectives. but with 8-inch move, it was hard for me to get there. So
Yeah.
2, and
That-
then I failed the charges. So the turn 3, and I couldn't got there. So by the time I got there, it was too late.
Yeah, we haven't talked about castles much this edition on the channel because castles are really interesting because defensively it's the best posture you can take in the game, right? Your opponent can't send 100% of their army into you, but you can defend with 100% of your army. So in terms of positional, like you can just think about it in terms of points. If your opponent's sending 1,000 points against your 2,000, you're going to win that fight, right? So there's that advantage. But the problem with a castle is putting all your forces in a single spot. You need the mobility to leave that formation. Because as soon as your opponent sees you going into a castle, they're doing exactly what you described. They split their army. And if you don't have the speed or the mobility, it just really falls apart very quickly. And that's something we talked about all the time in 3rd edition whenever we talked about a castle was castles are great. You should do them when it's appropriate, but you have to be able to break off. If you can't break off, you will lose the game.
You can break off with this list, but it might be too late. And against some armies, for example, the first match against slaves, I killed everything. I killed the Chosen.
But it's too late.
Apraxia,
He's got too many VPs, and it's too late. Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, but he still got the units of Dark Oath, and that was enough for him to take the objectives.
Yep.
There was another interesting match against Flesh Eater, which it was a very good match at me because everything was flying. It was all the shooting flying guys and 2 dragons.
Flayers, nice.
And yeah, in this it's the Path of the Fae. No, the Passing Seasons, the one with 4 objectives as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which you can increase your ward save. So it was very fun. I sent Ethereal Eltharion, into the upper corner objective, and I got it obscured. And he sent half of his army against him. He dealt 0 damage to him.
Oh.
But Eltharion on the slap back, he did 0 damage as well. 1 damage. So I forced him to take a double turn just to retreat, because on the second turn, Eltharion was on a 3-up Ethereal with a 3-up ward save. So he took a double turn just to take away his units from them. But then after that, I dealt no damage. I couldn't charge anything. I couldn't do anything. I just got slapped. He just kept on rolling 11-inch charges, and it was rough.
But, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that Lumineth, and that is the reason that I was telling earlier, that they are going a little bit down, because this is very few units. If you look at it, it's just 20 Sentinels, 2 units of Plate Lords, the River Blades, and Eltharion. All of the other stuff are wizards, which you cannot replace them with real stuff. You could put an extra unit of River Blades or something, but you don't have enough units to go and control the board.
It's unfortunate, but I think what has to happen is you need Speed of Hish in this list, and that means like you get less value from the Zappy Beam spell, which is a lot of fun. But you could bring in something like a Wind Mage, right? Because if you're just regiments don't matter, you're just bringing the hero to bring the hero. Teleport spell is really good, really good.
That wizard, it's 150 points. It's very expensive. I don't know how to skew this list. I have tried a lot of stuff, and I'm not liking it. So I'm tired of it as well. So.
Tell me about your last game against Stormcast, because we're the Stormkeep. Let's hear. How did you beat them? What was it like?
The same thing. I build up my castle, and he sees that he's got come at me at some point, so he decides to go first and go all in. He sent 2 units of prosecutors against me. They slapped. They killed the River Blades. They killed like 3 Plate Lords, and that's all. And then on the slapback, I counter shoot at the prosecutors, and I deal 1 damage with the Sentinels. 1 damage.
Well, at least they didn't ignore it through a Nation Chamber.
Yeah, at least. But I did 1 damage, so it was the same. So I just sat down like, oh my god, this is gonna be again another horrible game. I'm not gonna do damage. And he was like, oh my god, you look frustrated. I'm gonna buy you a beer. He was a very nice guy, Tristan. And then everything starts going. I had a 4-inch counter charge with Eltharion to tag Ionus and try to kill her, and I rolled a 2.
Yikes.
It was rough. But then suddenly everything starts working, and on the slapback I killed almost all the prosecutors, and then I go for the. He had a unit of reclusions in the middle objective, but that objective cannot be obscured, so I just shot everything I could into the reclusions, and then I sent Eltharion to finish them off, even when they struck first. And then at the end, it was just chasing after Ionus, which I sent even the archers charging at them just to take the objective with after killing him with Eltharion. And it was a very fun game, and I finished at the end. I had to buy him a beer because I end up winning.
Well, Tristan's a great guy, man. So I'm happy to hear it went well.
They were all amazing opponents, honestly. All of them. I had great matches, very fun, even with the frustration. They were amazing people.
That's awesome, man. I'm gonna try to make it a personal goal to go next year, but I don't know. We'll see. Travel is tough right now with the baby and everything. I'm surprised David went. He's got a younger baby than I have. I don't know how he got out of the house. That's crazy.
Yeah, I would recommend
That's
everybody
good,
that can go.
Sorry, go on, Luis.
Yeah, I suppose that everybody was looking for the games and the streaming of the games of Eduardo, and we are witness about the bad rolls that he made. Really, probably he threw 24 dice and only 3 or 4 was hitting. So at the beginning we didn't believe, but once we were looking the streaming, we really believe their bad luck. Maybe next time.
What we did was we didn't tell you guys this, but we had cursed you before you went. Morgonk is sitting, in his comfortable apartment, siphoning your luck so that he can roll his Grandhammer charges in a few weeks. Stealing all of your luck so he can get those 7-inch charges.
Yeah, he got them for sure because, oh my god, Eltharion was so rough, man.
Yep. Every time.
I don't like complaining because you usually miss something and then you whiff at some other and then you roll good.
Yeah, it averages out.
Like one way and then the other. But I swear to you, man, it was horrible. Those 3 games, the Soggy Terror, I sent everything at him. I shot with everything at him and I couldn't kill it. I got tagged by that stupid thing for 3 turns in a row. So I couldn't score for 3 times in a row. I sent everything, 10 Blade Lords, Eltharion, and the Sentinels all into it, and it couldn't die. It's insane.
Dice game, baby.
Dice game.
Yeah, I complained with Matt Rose.
Yeah, you're getting Lumineth buffed. You're doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you everybody for watching. I think we'll close it out here. It has been 3 hours. I'm really glad we got to do this. I miss doing this. We should try to do this every month, right? Like, we're gonna have another stream next month because the Battle Scroll will be coming out. So we'll do it there, and then we'll do another Realm Report in January. Does that sound good?
Awesome.
Sure.
Count me in.
Right on. Closing thoughts. What do people always say? Like, subscribe, whatever. I don't care. Like,
do all those things that make dings us.
Yeah.
Princess.
Do those things. Whatever. If Jack was always the guy who knew how to promote the channel. I miss him.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe and like us.
Okay. Thanks everybody for joining us. Oh yeah, I'll plug the Discord. The Discord's awesome. You guys should join it. It's the best place to talk about Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
It should be in the channel. It should be in the description under this video. But discord.gg/the Stormkeep. I think that's it. I gotta remember this stuff.
Yeah, and I'll post the pictures of my army.
Yeah, please do. I want to see it.
You already seen some stuff, but yes, I'll put more.
Yeah. Okay. Discord link is down there. Go in the Discord. It's the best place to talk about Age of Sigmar. Everywhere else is worse. TGA, Reddit, Facebook, 4chan, they're all terrible. Yep.
Okay.
All right. That's it. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
Right.
Have yourselves a great night.
Thank you. Okay. Bye.
Bye.